Oh, sad. These guys missed out on a lot of things already. Okay, yeah. Anyways, India is still a progressing country and aren't aware about it. Okay. Oh, sad. These guys missed out on a lot of things already. Okay, yeah. Anyways, India is still a progress. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, most people believe that antivirus software will protect their system. I mean, it will, Karthik. It will. Like, I wouldn't say it won't protect their system, but yeah, they think it's an underdog. It is an underdog because barely people know about it, right? So you can't really say it's not an underdog anymore. India is still a progressive country and aren't aware about it. We don't trust technology completely. So Aisha, I think the first thing you do after waking up is check your Instagram, right? Check your Instagram or your Facebook. So I am sure you guys trust technology completely, but you lack the knowledge of how to handle it, right? So that is more of the concern that I'm facing here. Okay. So technology is still emerging in India. Many people don't know about it. Talking about boomers. I see. Yeah. Aisha, I get you. Yeah. Boomers. The class. Okay. You want technical industry? The technical will start in a few minutes. Yeah. I think they believe luck in India. Arham, I 100% agree with you. Guys, just keep an eye on the YouTube streaming and just let me know if okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Fine. People in India think what, Pratap? Pratham is typing a lot, I guess. All right. Next time I switch, I'll come to you. All right. So let's go. Areas of research. Yeah. Okay. So areas of research in cybersecurity. These are a little complex. All right. But these are the general research areas that are actually very good or very followed in the field of cybersecurity. All right. This is IoT and cyber physical security. So what these guys are doing is they're trying to address the risks and challenges of industrial Internet of Things, wireless sensor networks, energy control systems, drones, etc. Right? Okay. Do you guys know what industrial Internet of Things is? Do you guys know what IIoT is? IIoT, all right. Okay, do you know what IoT is? What is IoT, Arham? Tell us what is IoT? Internet of Things. So take Internet of Things, right? Yeah, correct. Devices that have access to the internet. Yeah. So take Internet of Things and put it in an industrial setup, right? Let us take into example a factory. All right. Let us say the main control system is connected to the internet, and all the other machines are connected to the control system. So what it says is Internet of Things is like, if you expand it, it's just an interconnection of devices, right? So industrial Internet of Things is basically an IoT in a localized format where it is just focused towards one particular industry. For example, let us say you have two factories. All right, the devices of those two factories are connected to a cloud, and you own that cloud. That becomes an industrial Internet of Things, where one machine from factory A can connect to one machine in factory B. I mean, obviously through the control, but yeah, that can happen, right? It just exchanges data. Yes, as Priyanka said, it exchanges data through other devices with other devices with the control hub, etc. All right. So this deals with like risks, challenges, solutions, etc. through IoT, IIoT, drones, wireless sensors, etc. All right. Now comes data privacy. This is a very interesting and, to be honest, controversial topic. Okay, is your data really private? So that is what these guys are actually aiming to learn or maybe do research upon, right? Technical, ethical, and policy challenges about data control and privacy. Are you in control of your data? Is your data really private? Is your data really just for your eyes? All right. So they're working with international partners on accountability, tracking, cyber attack attribution, privacy preserving algorithms, homomorphic encryption. All of these terms you'll actually learn once you actually start learning about cybersecurity. All right, and this is completely out of the scope of this seminar because these are extremely advanced. All right, so encrypted search and data kill switch for online cloud computing users. Have you guys heard of a dead man switch? Any of you know what a dead man switch is? All right. It is a very exciting and yet very simple to operate. All right. So what it says is, okay, have you heard in the movies, right? I have my hand on the trigger. If I let go, then the bomb will explode. You guys have come across any of those movies? That is called a dead man switch. So what it says is, if you kill me, my body will go limp. I will release the trigger which will explode the bomb, right? So the same thing is, there's something called a cyber kill switch, right? Cyber dead man switch, where you keep logging into a particular website at some particular like interval, maybe like 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. So if that login does not happen at that particular interval, all your data gets erased. Is that cool? Is that something that you like? Is that something that actually fascinates you? It's also called a doomsday drive or something like that. Already there are many names for it. Okay. So what if you can build a dead man switch for your data? That the moment you are not really fascinating. Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. So it's like the moment you are dead, or the moment you're missing, or the moment you've forgotten, all your data gets deleted. Okay, that again comes under data privacy, Aisha. So you might not like data privacy. So yeah, I'll tell you more. Okay, YouTube is, no one's chatting in YouTube. All right. Okay. Okay. So next is cyber law and ethics. Okay. So again, these guys are researching on domestic and international laws addressing cyber security, cyber crime, data privacy, data breach enclosures, encryption, social media, bots, AI, etc. All right. This is just straightforward cyber laws and ethics. Cyber criminology. This is something that I am very excited about. Right. These guys are researching on prevention and intervention. All right. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to use different tools like visualization, attribution, snapshots. They're using a lot of tools to find out that if this cyber attack is done, it is done by whom. All right. So because each okay, there is actually a list, an Excel file about different hacking groups and their signatures. Okay, and that is actually more than 10,000 cells big and around 17 to 18 pages long. All right. I hope you guys know what cells and pages are. All right. So it is also focused on addressing skill gaps in frontline officers, for example, in military or in police departments across the world. If people are having issues, like are they facing skill gaps, then these guys are also addressing that. All right, and understanding and de-anonymizing, that is to make them not anonymous. So these guys are de-anonymizing criminal activities on the dark web. All right, or on social media platforms. Social media platforms, you have things like harassment, then pedophilia, etc. On dark web, you have drugs, guns, everything you have. All right, so cyber criminology deals with all that. Then comes critical infrastructure security. So recently, when we actually started the cybersecurity club, right? Okay, I'll be able to retrieve the data. Yes, you will be able to retrieve the data in the like Deadman switch. It'll be on a server. You can access it whenever you want. I'll myself forget what I did the previous week then. All right. Yes, Rajesh, I'll try sharing this PPT. All right. Yeah. So how to access the dark web? I'd rather not teach you guys that right now. All right. Anyways, yeah. So you use a VPN, and then you use a browser called Tor, and because it has something called an onion ring VPN. So there's a lot of things. Changing IP address is not actually useful, Karthik. It is actually not that useful, according to me, because yeah, VPN is the best. Yeah, VPN is actually built by US government. Maybe, maybe not. That's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, I have been to the dark web many times. Oh, it's a very scary place, to be honest, Aram. Yeah. Anyways, I'll just move on because I have a lot of slides. So yeah. Anyways, so critical infrastructure security, right? So when we inaugurated our club, I invited one of our guests who was from Canada. Okay, his primary work was to deal with ICS, or industrial control system security. All right, we had an amazing session with him. I'll try to arrange one for you guys as well. All right, so industrial control systems, any single factory, okay, or any single industry, all right, is controlled by ICS or SCADA. Okay, SCADA is supervised. Okay, there's a huge name for it. Rather not get into that now. Okay, so all of these are small computers. Okay, embedded chips that can be hacked. All right, so he was primarily focusing on that. Okay, so we had an amazing session with him. So you are primary lead for protecting all the industries in the world. That is critical infrastructure security, right? Solar, power grid, gas lines, etc. You have many things like that. Okay, that is critical infrastructure security. Then cyber autonomy and automation, right? Now this is the future, all right, where it actually merges cyber security, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, etc. All right, so it's working on, like, we are all working on next generation solutions that teach computers how to discover their own vulnerabilities and automatically patch or heal themselves, right? This involves AI, deep learning techniques, etc. The goal is to be able to equip human administrators with the tools they need to reduce the time taken between discovering and remediating vulnerabilities. Remediating, it means solving. All right, so the time taken before you actually know there is a situation and solving that situation is too long. There might be a breach already. All right, so cyber autonomy helps the computer start thinking, do I have a vulnerability and how to heal that or how to patch that, right? So that is cyber autonomy and automation. Yeah, so this is a video that I'd like to you guys to watch.
People like me in the cybersecurity business, we think of technology advances a little bit differently, okay? And let me explain. What I do for a living is I am what's known as a penetration tester, okay? And it's kind of a funny sounding name for a career, but what my wife likes to say and how she likes to explain it is that I'm a hacker for hire, all right? Simply put, companies hire me and people like me to break into their websites or networks or sometimes even their buildings.
I hope you guys could hear that. Were you guys able to hear it? All right, all right, all right. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Very important piece of protection, right? So, in fact, I believe you have these here at Elon, right? You have RFID cards, and you have to kind of badge into buildings and things like that, right? So, another piece of technology that I want to introduce you to is this device here listed, and I'm running out of pockets here. I actually have one of these devices with me, all right? And this is a field programmable gate array, right? Hopefully nobody recognizes what that is, right? Otherwise known as an FPGA. It's basically a small computer that has the ability to emulate other devices, okay? So imagine, let's say, something like a music box. Just a simple device that plays either recorded music or music that it picks up from a microphone. This device could be configured to do that. But it could also be configured to be a simple display, like an LCD display for a small computer, or even programmed to play a simple computer game, like what some of you might recognize as Pong here. That's the game Pong. It's one of the first computer games out there, right? Now, in my world, these technologies, we look upon these technologies as how could it possibly be weaponized, all right? And that's where my story begins. Because using these proximity cards for access, using this device that can be a music player, right? It can be configured to emulate or pretend to be that door card reader, that black box that's next to the door that lets you in the door. So that if you could get this device close to the card itself, it could pretend to be the door reader and record the digital signature that's on this card, right? And it's a process called cloning. Then it can be turned around and turned into play mode, taken up to the door, and the door thinks that this device is now the card, hence allowing someone in the door. Make sense? Perfect. You're with me. Okay, great. All right, so this company hires me to test their RFID system, or actually to test just to get in their building. I found out they were using these type of cards. So I go and in true fashion, I case the joint, right? I go out and I'm standing outside, and I'm watching for employees walking in and out, and I find an employee walking out. Now, this young woman, and by the way, that's not really her picture. This woman walks out, and the reason I say a woman is because women are, by and large, more perceptive than men are, right? We freely admit that, right, guys? That they have eyes in the back of their heads. Amazing, right? And I usually don't do this exercise with female targets because, well, number one, that's a little creepy. And number two, women are just, they're perceptive, right? Because to clone this card, I have to get this device very close to the badge, like literally touch it. But in this case, this woman was carrying her badge in her hand instead of putting it in her purse, which I thought was kind of interesting. And she's walking down the street, swinging her arms like this, right? So, Chris broke it. Okay, Ben, help, please. Why can't I just go back? Okay, sorry. So anyway, so she's walking down the street, and I walk up behind her, but not directly behind her, to the side where she's swinging there you go, perfect. Where she's swinging the badge, and she bumps into my device. So instead of me bumping into her, it's more like her bumping into me, right? Well, I get ready to apologize, right, as a Southern gentleman. Oh, sorry. She doesn't say a word. She doesn't even look back. And I'm just kind of befuddled, right? So I keep following her, right? I follow her for a couple of blocks. She bumps into me several times, and she never looks back. Now, the point of that is not only that, like, I'm just kind of creepy sometimes, but the real point of that is that she saw no value in that card. Now, had I been on the other side, and if I would have touched her purse, you better believe she would have noticed. She might have called the police. She might have maced me, right? She didn't see the value because her perspective on the technology is just not there, like my twisted sense of what the technology can be used for, okay? So what I'm hoping to do is to kind of raise some awareness today about the technology and what it kind of means. So who here has an iPhone? Wow. Is there anybody here that has a different kind of phone? Like 3 or 4 people? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little experiment. So everybody take out your iPhone. All right? Wonderful. All right, we got a roll here. All right, so unlock your iPhone because I imagine it was locked, right? Look on the main screen, and there should be an icon there called Settings. Kind of looks like a gear. All right? So click on Settings, and when it comes up, it should look something like this, obviously with your name, not mine. But down toward the bottom, if you scroll down a little bit, scroll down a little bit, and you should see one of the choices says General. Okay? Everybody with me? Click on General. And when you click on General, it should come up with this looking screen. It says General at the top, and then it says About. Right? So click on About, and I'm doing this with you, so I make sure I get it timed right. So at the top, it's got the name of your phone, and if you scroll down just a little bit, you may not have to actually scroll down, but at the bottom, you'll see the word version. Let's see. Yeah, I've got it in the middle of the screen there, version. Now, mine says 10.3.1, right? Now, updates to software are typically sequentially numbered. Is anyone not running 10.3.1? Wow. So I'm assuming that you're running 10.3 or 10.2 something, possibly 10.3.2, but that means that you're connected to the developer's network, and maybe we should talk later about a job, okay? All right? But so some of you don't have 10.3.1. Okay, that's a little scary because in April or earlier this month, Apple came out with an update for the iPhone that addressed some serious vulnerabilities in the iPhone that would allow someone to take over your computer. Take over your phone with a text message. Seriously, with a text message, okay? So, by the way, to update your phone, you just have to go back to that General tab and click on Updates, and it'll take you to this software update. But don't do it now because you need to be connected to a charger, and you're going to need about 15 minutes to do without your phone, all right? So, anyway, we'll get back to that. All right, so another quick story about iPhones. The last time I updated this, iPhone wants you to use Siri, right? So I went ahead and enabled it. Don't know why. I enabled it. Later that night, I'm watching a basketball game, and I get upset about it, and I went, seriously? All of a sudden, Siri said, I'm sorry, I don't understand you. What? I wasn't even touching my phone. So very scary. I disabled Siri and haven't re-enabled it since. All right. So what is a security person to do, right? This is scary technology. We should just say no. Just, don't implement this new technology until we get plenty of time to vet it out, right? Well, that doesn't work today. That does not work in today's society. You millennials don't want to wait and not use the technology. I get it. I understand. And businesses don't either. They want to be cool. They want to use the technology. So instead of just saying no, security professionals have to apply the slogan here, wishful thinking. We have to be curious. We have to push ourselves to learn the new technology before the user community comes to us and needs it, right? It's a real challenge. It is a super challenge. And the big problem is the bad guys, they don't have rules to follow. They can learn this stuff on their own time. They don't have to worry about the ethical constraints that constrain security people about learning things. In fact, we have to spend years gathering a whole host of certifications and study hard and make good relationships with honest, good, hardworking people who are experts in the field so that to prepare ourselves. In fact, there's a study out from the National Crime Agency in the UK that found that the average age of a cyber criminal is 17 years old. They've arrested 12-year-olds in the UK for hacking, for online cybercrime, right? It just really and truly doesn't take much to become a cyber criminal. And this has prompted a huge increase in the number of data breaches, right? In 2016, the number of data breaches were almost double what they were in 2015, which was a record year. And there are predictions that 2017 is going to be even worse. Now, what really causes this? Is it the lack of technological advances in the protection mechanisms, the security technology? I submit that no, it's not. It's something that we call a skills gap. A skills gap is basically the lack of existence of skilled employees to perform a task at an employer or at a business. And security is suffering from this gravely right now. It's predicted that within 2 years, there will be 2 million unfilled security jobs in cybersecurity. 2 million, right? So if you're thinking about changing a career, it's a good place to get there, right? And another impetus to get into this business is the wages, right? Security and technology, pretty much any technology-related industry has been experiencing growth in wages of the top performers, the top skilled people in those professions, right? If you're on a manufacturing floor, don't expect a raise. But if you're a knowledge worker in the IT space, expect something because you'll be able to demand it. You are in demand. This is also affecting education, right? My wife is a math teacher in high school. And she encounters this all the time with students being able to use technology to cheat on tests, right? It used to be that they would use some special feature on their calculator. Now they just whip out their cell phone or their watch. I mean, really, their watch. Their watch has the power to solve calculus problems, okay? How do you defend against that, right? How do we protect? And I realize I'm standing on a college campus, and I'm a proud graduate of the Georgia Institute of Technology. Go Jackets. But our education system is just not really cutting it, right? A recent study showed that out of the top 50 computer science programs, only 3 of them required cybersecurity coursework at all. It's just not being recognized. And the real challenge here is that even if academia were to teach budding cybersecurity experts what they know, by the time they create the lesson plan, what they're teaching them may be obsolete because of the advances of technology. It's a heck of a time we live in, right? So what is the solution? Well, in security, the solution is to learn to think like a hacker. Right? It's that old thing in law enforcement. How do you catch a crook? You learn to think like a crook so that you can anticipate their next step. And that's how it is in security. But this doesn't just apply to security. It really applies to any type of knowledge-driven or especially technology-driven industry. Because if you're worried about learning to use the tools, PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, don't worry so much about that, because by the time you graduate, or certainly within 5 years, those applications may be obsolete. You may be needing to learn to use some other application. So the key is learn how to learn, right? I know that sounds really weird, but learn how to learn. That's the key to remaining relevant and certainly to leading any technology-focused industry. So, some suggestions on how you might learn how to learn. All right. Some people are doing some amazing work out there. A good friend of mine, Dave Schwartzberg, created this organization called Hack for Kids. And basically, Hack for Kids, they're trying to change the definition of the word hack, right? The perception, because it's not always negative. When you hack something, sometimes you improve it. You improve its functionality. The big thing, the key there is it's the curiosity about the thing. How does it work? So that I can take it and apply it over to this other new technology. And so then I can not become obsolete when the new technology comes because I understand how technology in general works, right? The whole systems approach. And what they've come up with is this hacker mindset, the idea of just viewing the world that way and dissecting it. So they had these things called capture the flag events, and I love these because they're competitive and kids just eat it up. I mean, they're just so creative with it, right? Other organizations that are doing things, and I have to have a shout out to my Georgia Tech roots there. They have a student-run organization called Gray Hat, right? And they meet weekly, and basically they just meet to talk about technology and about hacks and about clever things that people do with technology. They compete in these capture the flag contests all the time. I mean, it's international known. In fact, they even host one. It's called Hungry Hackers, right? I guess when you're a university, copyright doesn't, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I mean, they're out there, right? So Hungry Hackers is a great event. There's another organization called Odyssey of the Mind, which not only applies this thinking, this hacker mindset to technology, but to other fields as well. So with the last couple of seconds of my talk, I have a challenge for you. Go home tonight, update your iPhone, and then think about your field of study and what field you're going into and how you might apply the concept of the hacker mindset to that industry. I thank you for your time.
Okay, so how was it? So how was the video that I showed you? So are you guys understanding how much of a skill shortage that we have as a cybersecurity professional or as a cybersecurity student? So it's like this we need to understand that as long as data exists, cybersecurity exists. All right. So we'll just take a break for maybe 15 minutes, I guess. It's good. 15 minutes is good for you guys. All right. Okay. So we'll take 15 minutes and then we'll actually be starting off with the actual technical aspects of cybersecurity. All right. It's gonna be fun, guys. Keep interacting like this. Keep interacting like this. Advice to maximize your window. I have no idea, Pratham. I have no idea. I have not heard that yet. All right. Okay. Okay. See you guys. I'll just take a break for 15 minutes. All right. Be here by 10:55, please. Okay. Thank you. You guys are back. Okay. Guys, don't call me sir, yaar. I'm just a fourth year student. I hope the YouTube stream is also working. Just someone in the chat, if you guys can say yes or something in YouTube. Hmm. 13 watching. Guys, you reply something on the chat? Yeah, okay, I'll fine. Okay. Okay, so you want me to start now? The technical aspects of cybersecurity. All right. Okay. Okay. I hope you guys are able to see the screen. All right. Okay. Okay, so we'll start off with the CIA Triad. CIA Triad is the basis of cybersecurity. It is It is why cybersecurity was actually like devised, and this is the main part of what cybersecurity really is. All right. So the triad is as follows: availability, integrity, confidentiality, or confidentiality, integrity, and availability. All right. If you want it as CIA, then confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Can anyone tell me what confidentiality is? Secrecy, yes. Privacy, something not to be shared. Correct. You guys are right. So what it means is, in cybersecurity, you need to make sure that your message remains confidential. It has to go from the source to the destination without being intercepted by anyone. All right. So that is confidentiality. What do you think availability is? Anyone knows what availability is? Presence. It's more, yeah, Arham, you're close to the right answer. What they say is your message should reach the intended destination. That is availability. You need to have, like, the data that you need to access should be available to you, right? I'll tell you an example. Have you guys heard of a DDoS, or a distributed denial of service? Have you guys heard of it? Okay. So it is an attack. So what it does is, it actually starts bombarding servers with traffic. Like, okay, I hope you guys know what traffic is, right? Yeah. So it keeps bombarding the servers with traffic so much that it eats up all of its bandwidth. So the server goes offline. So when the server goes offline, what happened? The data on that server is not available to you anymore. Hence, it's a breach of the CIA triad. Hence, you need cybersecurity to mitigate that, or to resolve that, or to solve that. You guys understood what availability is? All right. Okay. Now comes integrity. What do you think integrity is? Accuracy. Yes. Correct. Anyone else? Any other words, phrases, sentences, anything? Trust? No, trust is not the right answer, Anam. Together, having strong moral principles. No, Karthik, don't go philosophical. No, the closest was Sri Sharan. Accuracy. So what that means is, the message that I send. Let us say I send you the 3 letters A, B, and C. You, as a destination or as the receiver, should get only the letters A, B, and C. If you get B, C, and D, then the integrity is lost. Unchanged is the right word. Your data should not change from the source to the destination. You guys understood? All right. So this is the CIA triad. Okay. So this forms the basis of cybersecurity. If any of the CIA is broken or is breached, right, then the need for cybersecurity comes into play. Confidentiality. If I can see the messages that you guys are sending to each other, a breach of confidentiality. You need cybersecurity, right? Let us say that the message that you are sending to your friend, I am intercepting and I'm changing it. That prevents the integrity, or that ruins the integrity of your message. You need cyber security there. And what if I disable your internet connection so that your message does not even go to your friend? That becomes a lack of availability. You need cyber security there, or you need security measures there, right? So this is the CIA triad, and wherever you go or whatever you learn in cyber security will primarily be based on the CIA triad, always. Understood? Oh. So let's move on. Yeah. Now we'll come to cyber threats. Okay. There are n number of cyber threats in the world. Okay. But you can actually condense everything to three particular types of threats: cybercrime, cyber attack, and cyber terrorism. All right. Cyber crime is like you and I trying to hack and got caught. All right. That is cyber crime. Okay. Cyber attack is when people, it involves politically motivated information gathering. A cyber attack is more like one country spying on the other. Don't you think so? Or one particular group is actually hacking into something else to gain information. It's more like espionage. Okay, one country spying on the other, one group spying on the other, or one what is that? One institute, like maybe one industry spying on the other, etc. That is a cyber attack. All right. Cyber terrorism is intended to hack into electronic systems to cause panic or fear. For example, have you heard of the worm called Stuxnet? I'll just type it out for you guys. So it actually was about to it sabotaged an Iranian nuclear facility. It caused mass panic. Everyone in that facility were losing their minds. Okay, so this kind of situation is a cyber terrorism. All right, it causes panic. It causes fear in people around it. It causes panic amongst the people around that area. Right. That is cyber terrorism. I hope you guys understood the differences between ransomware. Again is cyber terrorism, right? Because all your data is encrypted, so you start panicking. What to do? That becomes, and it's also widespread. It is not just targeting a particular number of people, right? Ransomware attacks were all across the world. Okay, so ransomware comes under cyber terrorism. Server down is not cyber attack. Server down is unfortunate. If it is because of DDoS, then it is a cyber crime or a cyber attack. Again, that depends on how big your server is, right? Network issue is not an attack, yaar. Or do you have network issues? Don't tell me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, phishing. Phishing comes again under cyber crime. Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. Server down is network issue. I agree. Yeah. Cyber libel? I don't get you, Tejas. What do you mean? Key logging again is illegal. It is a cyber crime. Unless it is done by organizations, right? Unless it's done by identity theft is a cyber crime also. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are understanding what cyber crime, cyber attack, and cyber terrorism is, right? Yeah. So this is something called the cyber threat spectrum. All right. So this goes from hacktivism to warfare. Okay. And again, the threats keep on increasing from green to red. Okay. Hacktivists is a group of people that hack into systems to more like portray their vision or their idea. For example, Anonymous wanted data privacy, so they started hacking people. So it's like they want to advance their political or social causes, right? Then comes crime. Crime is if you want to get information on people or if you want to get cash. That is cybercrime. And then something called insider. Okay, insiders steal proprietary information from their particular institutions or particular companies for personal, financial, and ideological reasons. They might the insiders can be criminals or hacktivists. All right. Then comes espionage. Okay, espionage is more like countries sending spies to other countries to gain secrets or gain private information, etc. It's like that. All right, like really big groups with a lots of cash, with a lots of capital and lots of funds. All right, and lots of support also. Then comes terrorism. Terrorism again, it will be to cause mass panic or to kill a few people or to completely cripple a country's maybe electric grid or something like that. All right. Then warfare is countries actually hacking into other countries' systems to gain an advantage if they have conflict. I hope you guys understood, right? Whoa, SQL injection, XSS injection, carding. These are all crimes unless given permission. All right. So I hope you guys understood the threat spectrum. All right. Okay, I just want to show you this. Okay. Can you guys see this? These are the number of cyber attacks that are happening. All right, either cyber attacks or scanning or botnets. We'll talk about botnets later. All right. So yeah, see, India, there's a few happening currently. Intrusion detection scan. You can actually isolate all of this, right? Just isolate all of this. Yeah. This is ODS, right? This is on-demand scan. People are scanning here currently. This is from Kaspersky. You can actually go to cybermap.kaspersky.com to actually see this. And this is mail antivirus that's being activated. Okay, that's actually quite less. That's good. Now here it's web antivirus. Web antivirus is getting activated everywhere, right? So you can actually explore all of this. So I'll give you guys a few resources that you can do. All right. How's this recording attacks? It's not really recording attacks. It is more like the Kaspersky antivirus that is there, right? If it is being activated, it'll just track from where it's being activated and it'll have a light over there. That's about it. Then the Blue Whale game took lots of lives can be called a cyber terrorism. Yes, it can be called a cyber terrorism if they had the intent to do it. I mean, if it was accidental, it is still cyber terrorism, but again, it won't be that much of an effect, right? Because it's an accidental thing. Someone tried to make a game. Unfortunately, some people died. All right. Okay. I hope you guys saw the threat map. Yeah. So this is the IT certification roadmap. Okay. If you guys want to get certified, for example, I have 4 certifications with me right now. All right. That is the MTA, that is right here in the top left corner. I have where is Security Plus? Yeah, I have intermediate, that is Security Plus. And then I have something called Pen Test Plus, which unfortunately is not here. Yep, it's not here. Anyways, yeah. So CompTIA Pen Test Plus also exists. It comes in the advanced category. So yeah, you can follow all these to actually get a proper foothold into your particular field of study. For me, it's information security, so I'll be doing all the blue ones, right? Now coming to teams. Okay, how many of you actually heard about red team, blue team, yellow team, green team, purple team in cybersecurity? Never heard of it? Let me just check. All right. Okay. Yeah. Haven't heard of it. Meh. Okay. Heard of it. All right. Okay. So I'll give you an easier way to learn them. All right, because they are very essential. Red team are the breakers. Blue team are the defenders. Yellow team are the builders. All right. Red, blue, and yellow are supposed to be the primary teams in cybersecurity or standalone teams in cybersecurity. Green, purple, and orange are the teams that can come into two categories at once. All right. So coming to the red team. Okay. Before that, let me tell you the origin of how red team, blue team started. In the military, always there were concepts called red team and blue team, where usually red team are the people who attack and who use attacking techniques to war strategy. All right. So blue team are the ones that actually initiate defensive techniques to protect themselves. All right. So let us start off with the yellow team, because yellow team is the most important. All right. Yellow team stands for the builders. Okay. This is the team responsible for developing the security system of an organization. Okay. It can be your own company's department, or you can outsource that building part to some third-party security solutions. All right. So these people are the developers or the builders who are expected to know a bit about their applications, and these guys are the responsible to make sure that their applications or their software is adequately secure. All right. Then comes the red team. Red team represents the breakers. Okay. This is the team commissioned to perform ethical hacking on an organization, or in simpler terms, they want to break what is being built by the yellow team, and they are authorized to do it. Right. They are authorized to do whatever it takes to breach the security defenses. They also conduct compliance testing, black box testing, web app scanning, social engineering, and a host of other attacks. Here, only social engineering and compliance testing are in the scope of this place. So, compliance testing basically means that you have one certification. For example, I hope you guys know what ISO is, right? International Standards Organization. Heard of it, right? OSCP is a certification, Pratham. Yeah. So there are different things like ISO, FedRAMP, GDPR, like other certifications to take care of security. All right. Maybe your data privacy, or maybe your security posture, how good it should be. CEH is also a certification. CEH. So compliance testing, these people audit your company's security to see if they are compliant with those particular certificates. Okay, that is compliance testing. Social engineering, I'll come to later. It is one whole subsection in this seminar. All right. Then comes blue team. Blue team represents the defenders. They are the group that is tasked to protect the building which is being broken into by the red team. All right. So they're responsible for implementing defensive security, damage control, and incident response. They may also play the role of threat hunters, operational security wardens, and data forensics experts. See, these terms you will learn once you start actually understanding what cybersecurity actually means, and the roles inside cybersecurity, and the structure of a cybersecurity team, incident response, etc. All right, you'll dive into deeper, according to me at least. I feel you guys are damn interested in it, so you guys will figure out what those are. Then comes the green team. Now, green team is a color between yellow and blue. So what it means is the people in the green team can be both yellow team and the blue team members. All right. So what that means is they build the system and also defend it. Okay. So they have to learn how the blue team develops defenses. They add to the system, so they can add them as they build it. Okay. So these guys have to learn about how to defend their structure during the build of the software or the application, right? So then it comes purple. Purple is between red and blue. Okay. So your purple team members have a mindset of both attack and defense. All right. So they collaborate with each other to improve the results of the red team campaigns and boost the capabilities of the blue team. it's like your red team wins and your blue team wins at the same time, because you're operating it in the same company, right? So you tell the red team will tell you how to like protect this particular flaw, and then you do it. So that is the purple team. Purple team coordinates between red and blue. All right, just like green coordinates between yellow and blue. Then comes orange. Orange is between red and blue. All right. So what these guys do is the yellow team thinks like the red team. Okay. So the red team studies and predicts how the yellow team will build the system, and they say that this is vulnerable. So this might actually be a flaw in your system. So immediately they get built back up again with everything solved. All right. So under the orange collaboration, red team is expected to share and review the findings with the yellow team so that they can build better. Okay. I hope you understood. I hope you guys understood what teams are in cybersecurity, right? Is it interesting? Okay. Which team are you guys? Okay. Which team are you guys in? I'm in purple. You're in green team. Nice. Okay. You're in orange team. Nice. So you guys want to be the builders and not the breakers or the defenders. That's good. That's very good. The breaking team is red, Arham. You guys are taking a really good interest in actually building the system. You guys can be security architects. Anyway, so you tell me how I am doing this. Let us spend the next 10 minutes talking about how is this seminar going forward. You guys want this kind of seminar? You guys want a different kind of seminar? You want something that is more interactive? Just let me know. Let's spend the next 10 minutes discussing, because I don't want to, like, if you guys don't like it, might as well change it in the next half an hour, right? You want more interactive than this? Okay, done. Hands-on approach, Kushal, will be hard for you because you're just freshly learning cybersecurity, right? For you to actually have a hands-on approach, you'll need a lot of knowledge. You're still in first year. So see, like second, third year, by third year, you can actually perfectly do a lot of things hands-on. You can start attacking the systems. You can start defending systems. Don't worry, we'll get you there. No worries. Okay. I try my best, Arham. Thank you so much. Practical attack on VM, virtual machine, I guess. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a practical attack. You remember the last video that I showed, right? He talks about CTFs. We will have CTFs in the third day. We will make you do some, like, we won't make you do it, obviously. We'll show you how to play a CTF. We'll have a small CTF game like on the third day. I won't be there. My friend will be teaching. He's also your senior. Any more suggestions you guys want? OSCP, yes, OSCP is primarily for red team, but once you do OSCP, then like it's like you are permanently in the red team. Okay. Will he be as good as you guys? I'm not great. Okay. I'm not great. Yeah, he's as good as me. To be honest, he's better in practical approach according to me. No, you don't have to download anything for these 3 days. All right. So you guys will have a project also. I'll make you guys actually think about a lot of things about why we have cybersecurity. Okay. Take down notes. I mean, if you want to, you can take down notes. That's up to you completely. Or else, if you just want to learn what's happening, and then anyways, you guys have what is that? I hope you guys have an elective, right? Cybersecurity. We don't have electives for cybersecurity. So You haven't chosen cybersecurity as an elective, Arham. Very bad. No, Madip, I think you do. You have electives and you have specialization also. Kushal, electives are okay. There are subjects that you can choose by yourself. You'll get it after second year, I guess. Or wait, I think during second year. I've forgotten about it. Yeah. No, electives are not specializations, Arham. Electives are separate subjects that you get to choose. I have no idea. Actually, Aisha, you need to talk to your professors about it because we did not have any of that. So I don't have enough information about that. I think you do, Sehaj. I think you do have an elective for cybersecurity. Okay. Let us spend the next at least 3-4 minutes at least talking about you guys. So how are you guys? How's Corona? Oh my god, the moment I said Corona, everything stopped. Uh-huh. Change it if you want, Sahaj. It'll be nice. Just finished watching Mr. Robot. Uh-huh. Corona with updated security patch level. Just give me a minute, guys. Oh, I guess someone wants me to explain something, I guess. What do you want me to explain? Bindya? Sorry for the delay, guys. I mean, there's a lot of latency between AirMeet and YouTube. Okay. I don't think there's anything. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So when our classes will be offline, I don't think so, man. I don't think it'll be offline this semester. But I have no idea. Don't take my word for it because again, COVID 2.0 is here. Can't really help it. Sony attack. I need to look into it, man. I can't really explain you any attack now other than what I've prepared for because there's a lot of things that go into an attack, right? So I need to actually simplify it for you guys. Kumar Abhinav, you can learn it right now. Okay, but no one will teach you hacking, right? Because it's unethical. People can use it for unethical purposes. Aisha, there are teachers in this group. No, it's fun. It's fun as long as you have the right group. It's fun. Okay, so I'll start off. Okay, you are offline now. When can we expect? I have no idea. The teacher should actually be telling you that because I have no idea. Yeah, Suhas, you can actually do something called hardware hacking. Okay, it's where see, primarily CS students will hack software, right? But you can do it on hardware. So that is the best part. Okay, so Has, you can actually have fun, but yeah, EC is hard. So uh, don't 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 neglect your studies in the actual college, right? Hack the box is something is for CTFs, Sage. It's for capture the flag games. Okay, Mere Hacker's Plight is a brilliant, it's a beautiful YouTube channel to actually learn it from. Okay guys, let us start off then. Okay, I didn't get any response from YouTube. Okay, yeah, anyways, so let's start off now. Malware. Okay, you tell me what malware is, guys. I want you guys to tell me what malware is. Payload? No, malware is not a payload. I mean, it can be a payload, but it's not a primarily a payload. Virus? Virus. Sehaj, you're right. Malicious software. Yeah. So malware is just a condensed form of malicious software, right? What is malicious? You guys know what malicious is? Dangerous. Okay, good. Harmful, suspicious, used to disrupt system, wrong intentions. Yeah, Akshaya, I think you got the right answer there. It's used for wrong intentions. Okay. So yeah, so let me continue then. Yeah, it's an umbrella term for any types of malicious software designed to infiltrate your device without your knowledge. Okay. They are sneaky and they're actively working against your best interests. Okay, so that is malware. That is, in a very simple term, that is malware. Okay. Yeah. Common types of malware. Okay, so I'll just keep this screen up for, I guess, 15 seconds. Okay, so if you guys know what any of these are, let me know. It'll be a nice approach. Wi-Fi password and Instagram account. This is what all security professionals get asked, right? I do know it, but I am not going to do it because of ethical purposes, right? Yeah. Anyways, so you guys know what any of those are? Any of the malware, like ransomware, spyware, worms, adware, trojans, botnets. You guys know what it is? Trojan is a virus. All of these are technically considered viruses, right? Adware downloads advertising material. You're perfectly right. Trojans can take control. Yes. Yeah, Trojans will take control. Yeah. Misleads the user of its true intent. Madhip, you're perfectly right. Perfectly right. Okay. So I'll just start moving forward, which encrypts the data and demands money in Bitcoin. Yes, you're right. Okay. So ransomware. Okay. So let's start off with ransomware. Ransomware is a malware version of a kidnapper's ransom note. Okay. So what it does is it locks and denies access to your device and your files until you pay a set amount to the hacker. But the issue is you are not guaranteed that you'll get back your system after paying that money to the hacker anyways. Okay. So once you get the ransomware, you're gone. You're ruined. If you have especially critical information on your devices, right? Then comes spyware. Spyware is a malware that monitors what you do on your device. It can have credit card numbers, financial information. It can even be a keylogger that can even log your key presses on the keyboard, right? Your internet activity, everything you can take from a complex spyware, right? Then comes worms. Worms are primarily used to spread. Worms are that kind of malware that you don't need any action to actually for it to spread. So it replicates itself infinitely, right? It spreads from one machine to another, from that machine to another. It can go through networks, it can go through everything. Okay, all machines infected. Okay, so what people also use worms for is they use the worms spreading nature and they install one type of malware on it. All right, so see, and some other worms, they are designed only to spread. So they'll make your network slow. They will make your system slow by doing nothing but just spreading. Okay. So that is one difference between a virus and a worm. A virus, you need to click on the virus for you to actually get that malware, right? In worms, you don't need to do anything. The moment it's in your system is gone. Okay. Then comes adware. Adware, it is used to create revenue for the developer by subjecting them to unwanted advertisements. Free games or toolbars or some random extension you download off the internet, you start getting ads. That is something called an adware. It will, firstly, it is annoying. It doesn't do any harm to your system other than slow it down a bit. That's about it. All right. Then comes Trojans. Do you guys know the story of the Trojan horse? Can any of you explain it? I'll invite any of you guys to the stage. You guys can explain it if you want. Oh, don't ask me the cities because and the army names because I swear I've forgotten everything, but I know the concept. Okay. So they gave the hollow wooden horse as a gift filled with soldiers. The moment it entered that city, whichever it is, yeah, they came out, they took over, they conquered that city. Simple. So what concept it like that concept is basically like I will enter your system as something completely harmless and then I will destroy your system. Okay. So Trojans are like that. So Greek poets told of its Athenian warriors hiding inside a giant wooden horse, then emerging after the Trojans pulled it between the walls of their city, like within the walls of their city. Yeah. So it is a vehicle for hidden attackers. It presents itself as a legitimate software and then infiltrates the device. Some Trojans actually download additional malware once inside the system. All right. So that is Trojan. Now comes botnets. Have you heard of botnets? Botnets are extremely famous. Anyone heard of it? Okay. Can you tell me what it is? In some games? What kind of games do you play, Arham? Kind of sus. Aha, Watch Dogs. I see. Aha. No, botnets is okay. A botnet is a virus. Okay. I mean, it's a malware. It's not really a virus. It's a malware that spreads and takes control of the device that it is in. And that device becomes a bot. Okay. That device becomes a bot. And what it does is a botnet. What does the name suggest, right? It is the network of bots. So the bots become zombie systems. Okay. Which can be controlled by an external source. That is a botnet. All right. It's a very dangerous thing. Okay. So it is a network of computers or computer code then that can carry out or execute malware, which are capable of receiving commands from their controller. They form a network, provides the controller access to the network, and then it can be coordinated to send spam, send email data, steal data, get down servers, sold for dollars, sold for millions of dollars, millions. After this session, I'd like you guys to actually okay, you know what? I'll only Google it. I hope you guys can see the screen. It has a whole Wikipedia page like designed for it, right? It is a malware that turns network devices running Linux into remotely controlled bots that can be used as a botnet in large-scale network devices. So these, and the worst part is this Mirai botnet was even in CCTV cameras that were connected to the internet, routers, servers, any device that was connected to the internet was a part of the Mirai botnet. I think they had around 2 point something billion systems in that botnet in 2018. 2017, I guess. Just don't quote me on the year. But yeah, so it had that many number of bots. Okay. It is very dangerous because, as I told you what a DDoS attack is, right? DDoS attacks are usually done via a botnet. Because to increase traffic, you need a lot of systems going and communicating with that server at the same time. Okay. You can steal data also because all the computers in that botnet like function like one computer. Okay, so they have that much processing power in them to actually be able to start stealing data either from within themselves or from others. Okay, you guys understood what a botnet is? You can send spam. You can send phishing emails to everyone. Slow loris is a part of botnet. I need to look into that. 1 minute. Oh, this is a DDoS tool. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. See, DEF CON. It's a private party for hackers. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. Unfortunately, I can't show anything in this seminar about DEF CON because it has a lot of explicit stuff. And it's just a private party for hackers. All right. So it happens in Las Vegas, Nevada, usually. Okay. So it is the largest convention for hackers from the past, I don't know, I guess 20 years, 20, 25 years, I guess. So yeah, it is legal, Mikhail. It is legal. How are botnets even created? So Priyanka, what it does is you install a botware, I mean a malware that makes your system a bot into one system. So that is how it starts spreading. All right, it starts spreading from one computer to another, and whatever is connected to that computer gets that same malware, and then again the computers connected or devices connected to those devices again will start becoming bots. So eventually, over a period of time, maybe a year or two, you'll start having millions of systems in your botnet. So that is how it will be created. All right. No, CES is more like a convention, Pratham. It's more like decent people come there. There is no drinking and all of that. So yeah, it's more like it's a more decent version of DEF CON, CES. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a very complex subject that you'll be learning later. Okay, so it is out of the scope of this seminar, but I'll make sure that if you guys are in the cybersecurity club, I'll teach you guys all about it. No worries. Okay, is embedding a payload in an APK be called a Trojan? Not really. It can or it cannot be called a Trojan. Okay. Mir, for example, if you embed a payload in the APK code of another software, then it can be called a Trojan. If you're just embedding a payload in an unknown APK, then it won't disguise itself as a legitimate software, right? I will send it to you, Tejas. I'll send it to you at the end. I will send all the information to you guys. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yes, we do have a club. I guess the Airmeet display picture is our club. So yeah. So as a defender, we can filter all spam message and block the message from the receiver, and we can automate the system using antivirus. Yes, Chandrasekhar, it's already there. There are something called spam filters. There are something called phishing filters also in certain antivirus software. Okay. So let's move further. Okay. So now, yeah. So this is more like a general overview of what it is. Ransomware blackmails you, spyware steals your data, adware spams you with ads, worm spreads across computers, Trojan sneaks malware, and botnets turn your PC into a zombie. Okay. So let me just check YouTube. Green team, purple team, orange team. Malware designed to damage the system. Okay. So Bindya, I'll tell you. So the green team acts as a okay, it's like a yellow team and a blue team combine into one. So you have the green team filled with yellow team people and blue team people, where the defenders actually see what is there to defend and how can they do it better. It is more of a collaboration. Okay, and the same thing with purple team. Purple team is a collaboration between red team and blue team to find out where the weaknesses are and how can they defend it. The same thing with orange team. Orange team is a collaboration between yellow team and red team, where the red team actually attacks the software to see where the flaws are. Okay, and the yellow team improves those flaws by building it better. I hope you understood, Bindya. Yes, you're right. Malware is designed to not really damage the system, but to cause inconvenience in your system. Okay, and botnet is a network which are infected by malware and controlled by criminals. Yeah, you're perfectly right there. All right. Okay. So can't we do the same thing for other type of malware like Trojan? Yes, we can, Chandrasekhar. There are specific signatures for Trojans. It's called a signature or a malware signature. Okay, that the antivirus will check. If your malware fits into that whole database of filters, it will stop you from downloading it. I hope you've seen sometimes in Chrome, it says download failed, or it does not let you download. And it says that, what is that, malware alert, your Windows Defender will give you a malware alert or something like that, right? So that is when your antivirus actually sees that, this file seems fishy. It seems very suspicious. Do not download it. I hope you understood, Chandrasekhar. Okay, yeah. Yes, Abhinav, you can answer. You can answer the questions on YouTube. You answer on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Coming back. Okay. Now time for another video, guys.
This video was made possible by Wix. If you are ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics to try out one of their premium plans right now. Many of us, at some point in time, have had a computer start acting very strange. There are a lot of threats out there, and many come in the form of viruses. Computer viruses got their name because they act like viruses and replicate. They infect lots of files on a machine and can be spread to another machine by doing things like sending files to someone else or using an infected USB drive on another computer. Then you have worms, adware, trojans, and rootkits, which are hard to detect and can give attackers control of your machine. Perhaps even more frightening are ransomware attacks, where someone gets a hold of your data, sometimes sensitive data, and makes you pay to get it back. Today we'll look at some of the biggest attacks on computers in this episode of the Infographic Show, the world's most dangerous computer viruses. Number 1, SQL Slammer/Sapphire. This one caused havoc in the USA in 2003. It's thought that it cost those who were hit in all about $1 billion. It affected web servers, leading to bank ATMs crashing, it messed with Continental Airlines electronic ticketing, and it blocked 27 million people from the internet. Even Seattle's 911 emergency services were affected. As Wired explains, Slammer used an attack on one type of software, but then infected machines would spread this worm through the net. The New York Times writes that what was so worrying about this virus was its virulence. It infected 75,000 servers in just 10 minutes. It was stopped, eventually, by patches and antivirus software, but the creator of this virus is still unknown. It also reappeared briefly in 2016, coming from IP addresses in the USA, China, Mexico, Ukraine, Vietnam, Russia, Venezuela, Argentina, and Thailand. Number 2, Melissa. Apparently, the villain behind this virus named it after an exotic dancer. It began as an infected Word document posted on an alt.sex Usenet group. If that was opened, it would send itself to 50 people on someone's Microsoft Outlook email program. That might not sound too bad, but it created mayhem when emails were being sent at a rate that really messed with companies and big corporations. So much so that in 1999, Microsoft shut down incoming email. Users would get a message such as, "Here is that document you asked for, don't show anyone else," and there was an attachment with it. According to one source, it cost people, governments, and companies in all about $1.2 billion. Now, anyone watching this show should know that you should never open attachments that look a bit sketchy. But it seems back in those days, people weren't yet so savvy. The creator of the virus was caught and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but only served 20 months with a $5,000 fine. Number 3, Anna Kournikova. This virus was the brainchild of a 20-year-old Dutch guy named Jan de Wit. He used the good-looking tennis player Anna Kournikova as bait. You basically would receive an email saying you had a photo of her, but if you clicked on the file, it launched a viral Visual Basic script. That meant everyone in your address book was forwarded the same thing. This affected millions of people and overloaded servers all over the world. This gave the young DeWitt a fright, as he didn't think it would cause so much of a problem. Sources said that by the time he understood what the worm did, he had conferred with his parents and decided to turn himself in to the police. He was lucky, though, and got away with just having to do 150 hours of community service. The virus was even in an episode of the sitcom Friends. Number 4, Surcam. This nasty worm also made Microsoft Windows systems its target. Again, it spread far and wide as it sent itself to people in your email address book. You usually, but not always, saw the following message: I send you this file in order to have your advice. What was clever about this virus is that it would choose random files from your computer and send them to others. This was particularly bad for governments who don't want random files being sent out. It said it affected 12% of computers in North America and 11% of computers in Europe. CNET writes that it cost $1 billion in damages related to cleaning infected systems and to lost productivity. It also caused some blushes. No one has ever been arrested for creating this. Number 5, Code Red. Estimates on the damage caused by Code Red range in the billions. Web pages that were affected suddenly got the message, "Welcome to worm.com, hacked by Chinese." Norton explains, the HTTP request exploits a known buffer overflow vulnerability, which allows the worm to run on your computer. The malicious code is not saved as a file, but is inserted into and then run directly from memory. It has been called one of the most sophisticated attacks ever that almost brought down the internet, infecting Microsoft Internet Information Server, which many websites run on. It was what is called a distributed denial of service attack, which means overwhelming websites with too much traffic, which brings them down. According to the Scientific American, it might not have been China who was the culprit though. There were many investigations, but ultimately no one knows where it came from. Number 6, Conficker. Now we come to the really costly infections. Conficker is said to be the most destructive worm of all, and it cost those infected around $9 billion. It was discovered in 2008 and has in its lifetime infected as many as 15 million computers. It affected police departments in the UK as well as the military and really messed with their operations. It infects Windows operating systems, and it lasted a long time as it kept getting past patches and antivirus software. It's a bit of a mystery to security experts, but they know it takes over a machine and then infects other machines in the network. Number 7, I love you. You have to love the name of this nasty virus. A bit like other things we have talked about, it comes as an email with the words "I love you" in the subject line. Well, that sounds nice. As so many businesses use Outlook, it spread fast because folks opened the attachment. Once they did that, everyone else in that address book got the same email. Not only did it spread quickly, but it also deleted many of your files, including every JPEG and MP3. It reached 45 million people in one day in 2000. It was so big that Ford Motor Company shut down its email. It was a little like Melissa, but it sent mail to all your contacts and deleted personal files. Even the Pentagon, CIA, and the British Parliament shut down their emails. The virus was eventually linked to some young programmers in the Philippines, and it's thought the cost of this virus was around $15 billion. Number 8, so big. This happened in 2003 and included a worm and a Trojan horse all in one. You'd get an email with any number of subject lines, such as "Re-Wicked Screensaver" or "Re-Approved," and then there would be an attachment. CNN wrote in 2003, "So Big.F breaks virus speed records." It was said at the time to be the fastest growing virus ever. It stopped airlines from operating, slowed down many major corporations, and worried the government. It mostly affected the USA. A cybersecurity expert wrote, "At its peak, 1 out of 17 emails that we were processing were a copy of the So Big.F virus. Certainly, we haven't seen numbers like this before. It is spreading at a very fast rate and the volumes are high." In the USA, 40 million emails were scanned and half of them contained the virus. It said it cost a massive $37.1 billion. And finally, number 9, MyDoom. A fitting name for what some people say was the costliest virus of all time, with an estimated $38 billion in damages. In 2004, it infected 1 in every 12 emails. Spread via email and also via peer-to-peer file sharing networks, it was so big that Google was worried. A reward of $250,000 was offered to anyone who helped catch the perpetrators. People said it was someone in Russia, but that has never been proven. Again, you would get an email and open the attachment, then your friends would be emailed, but because it also got into peer-to-peer sharing, it spread fast. To this date, my doom is the greatest virus ever. Speaking of change, when is the last time you updated your website? Now is probably the time to do it. And when you do it...
Okay. How was that, guys? How was that? What do you think? Yes, nice observation, Nikhil. Nice one. One more observation that you guys did. Anyone? Most on Microsoft. That's also a very good observation. Go on. People are not updating their Windows. Correct. Exactly. Weak point people. Yes. I told you, right? The weakest link in a cybersecurity system is the people. Okay. And before anything, the developers of the virus do not earn anything. Okay. They either accidentally have done it, or they just did it to see the world burn. Okay. And one more thing, you guys should not click on attachments from emails if it wasn't, like, if you didn't expect it. Okay, so that is the first thing. That is what end user education means in the first few slides that I showed you, right? Whoa. What's with the spam, Rajesh? Yeah. Okay, anyways, yeah. So now I'll show you how much it actually damages the company. All right. So I'll tell you, okay, so the next two videos are complete case studies on what happened. Okay. I hope you'll have fun. Let's see.
You hear a lot of rumors doing this job, and one of them that just keeps coming up is that hackers are making a killing from secret payments by major companies. But what would you do if every computer in your office was hijacked by hackers? That's what happened to a Norwegian company recently, and they faced a dilemma: to pay or not to pay. The hackers attacked here late at night. Computers everywhere changed simultaneously. The message: pay us, we will be locked out forever. For this aluminium producer, it was a disaster. Down here on the factory floor, where these heavy-duty machines are working hand in hand with people, every minute counts. You can see why the hackers wanted to target a place like this. Everything was affected, even the computer inside this clock. And it wasn't just here, it was at the company's 170 other sites around the world. 35,000 employees forced to use pen and paper. In most sites, production was kept going just about, but it's this person's job to decide what's coming in and what's going out. And of course, without the computer, they had no idea. 5 weeks on, they're still recovering. There were people from sales who were drafted in to do production line work. There were people from finance making sandwiches for the teams. Everything in the company was turned upside down. For days, Olof managed to keep this plant going manually. He relied on the skills of long since retired workers and long since forgotten about paperwork. Well, this is the paperwork for only 2 weeks of orders. It's exactly the instructions that the machines need to build the things that they've got to produce here, but they've had to dig these out from storerooms, basements, because of course this is what would have been inside the computers. And now look at this, all of these files. At the company's global headquarters in Oslo, they're still rebuilding their systems.
As people are being attacked, we had to shut down the entire network. 40 countries, 22,000 PCs. We're still very much recovering. We don't trust anything.
The hacker's note that appeared on company computers was typical of a ransomware attack. Your files are encrypted with the strongest military algorithms. Without our special decoder, it is impossible to restore the data. The virus is called Lockagoga. Different, but just as devastating as the infamous WannaCry ransomware that affected the NHS 2 years ago. For a large fee, probably hundreds of thousands of pounds, they would restore the company files. But Hydro never tried to negotiate. and refuse to cave in to the cyber criminals?
I think in general it's a very bad idea to pay. It fuels an industry. It's probably financing other sorts of crime.
But there are plenty of companies who are paying in secret.
This goes against the advice of pretty much every law enforcement agency in the world, so no one wants to talk about it. But there is one firm happy to speak. They're here in Connecticut, in the US, and they specialize in negotiating ransoms between the victims and the hackers.
Coveware is just one of a handful of companies that have started helping victims navigate this murky world of cyber extortion.
This group will divvy up 80% of the Bitcoin, 20% goes to the developer. Maybe they go back to the dark market, buy some more, and
Bill and his company are incredibly careful about the details hackers know about.
we're dealing with cyber criminals at the end of the day. And so I think it's a healthy amount of paranoia to ensure the security of our employees and our company.
They're understandably cagey about which companies are using their service.
Are these big companies?
Some of them, yeah.
What, tens of thousands of employees?
Yep, some thousands, some public companies, some name brands.
Industry analysis suggests that overall, ransomware attack numbers are actually in decline, but some estimates suggest attacks on businesses have gone up 500% in the last year. And as hackers go after bigger targets, the ransoms are going up.
We always want them to be as small as possible or to not happen. But we recognize that when a company needs to pay and it's a large number, then that's what needs to happen, and that can be 7 figures.
How do you feel when you pay 7 figures?
Not good. It's not a good outcome. Everybody recognizes it's not a good outcome, but you're dealing with life and death of the company in some of these cases where that has to happen.
There's no doubt it's a major dilemma, especially when you look at what happens to companies like Norsk Hydro that don't pay ransoms. Recovery for them has so far cost more than £45 million. Clearly, the easy way out can be tempting.
Stuxnet is a new type of weapon, a digital worm.
You wanted to do a biggest ransomware attack. Why do you want to kill people, Robert? Yeah. Mikhail, could you not listen to the video? Somewhat audible. Same problem with everyone? It was fine, right? Okay. Okay. Anyways, Mikhail, I'll send you the link of all these videos later. I'll just send it to you with the folder that contains everything. All right? Yeah. Okay. Low bandwidth will actually reduce the quality, right? So, okay. Anyways, we'll move on. Okay. So, what do you think about the ransomware? Do you see how devastating it is to the company that actually gets it? So $45 million they've spent just on recovery. Okay. So this is where disaster control and business continuity people, they actually come in and actually lead it. Okay. Yeah. Industrial production is affected, downfall of the economy. Yes, 100%. And the same issue was in WannaCry, they attacked hospitals. So people could not function. Doctors could not earn their pay. People were not getting appointments. People were not going through surgery. Nothing was happening. So this is a ransomware. People ask for money. It is primarily used to get money. All right. So maybe network issue, I guess. Yes. So let us move on to worms. You guys want to see how Stuxnet actually came up? The most famous worm in the world, Stuxnet. I mean, other than the configure worm. So yeah. Okay. Let us move on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we'll move forward. Yeah.
Stuxnet is a new type of weapon, a digital worm, and it was used in the first cyber attack known to have caused physical damage in the real world. While they have not admitted to it, the United States and Israel allegedly created Stuxnet in order to slow Iran's effort to build nuclear weapons. The worm targeted the computers that ran the machines used to turn uranium into nuclear fuel. The Stuxnet worm spun many of the centrifuges out of control, blowing them up, all without the Iranians figuring out what was causing the explosions. Eventually, though, Stuxnet got loose and spread across the world, infecting computers in more than 100 countries. The worm was quickly noticed, and the operation publicly exposed. Cyber experts were alarmed by Stuxnet and feared its potential for destruction. While this worm only attacked specific equipment related to Iran's centrifuges, experts fear that the same digital technology could be used to manipulate the computers that run a huge swath of industrial activity and infrastructure projects, like factories, dams, and electrical grids. Disrupting or destroying any of them could cause enormous physical damage and could potentially kill large numbers of people. This has led some to suggest that cyber weapons have the potential to be weapons of mass destruction. And just as international treaties were created to control nuclear weapons, many countries and individuals are calling for treaties to control the use of cyber weapons. But that is unlikely to happen anytime soon, because cyber weapons pose unique challenges. They're often designed to be covert, so victims may not even realize that they were hit by a cyber attack. For example, while the Stuxnet worm was destroying the centrifuges, it sent false information to the Iranian scientists' equipment, pretending that everything was operating normally. Even if victims do discover that they were attacked, they may not be able to determine who attacked them, because hackers can mask their identities and cover their digital tracks. This makes it harder to enforce potential cyber weapon rules because countries may not know whom to attribute a violation to, and as a result, may not know who to punish. On top of these challenges, there's no international consensus on what the cyber rules would even be. And so, without any rules, countries are building up their cyber defenses, making it harder for cyber attacks to succeed. But there's no perfect defense against a cyber attack. For example, the Iranian nuclear facility was underground and air-gapped, completely cut off from the internet. So those who wanted to damage the Iranian program couldn't sneak Stuxnet into the facility online. Nevertheless, they targeted the hardware suppliers for the facility and put it on their electronic equipment, which eventually made its way into the nuclear facility. This infiltration tactic makes it near impossible to completely protect any system from cyber attacks. With globalized supply chains, every country is vulnerable to foreign cyber weapons. So many focus on building resiliency, making sure that important systems and infrastructure can quickly recover after a cyber attack. And countries are also racing to develop stronger cyber weapons, hoping to deter other countries from attacking out of fear of retaliation. They are also seen as a new tool to respond to extreme security threats like terrorist attacks, or even to counteract sanctions. More countries than ever are armed with cyber weapons. And every country, rich, poor, big, and small, is vulnerable.
So this was more deadly because it was targeting nuclear power plants. You guys know what happened to Chernobyl, right? So what if this could have been that? Right? That is why viruses are scary. Malware is very, very scary. Okay. So what do you think of this video? Did you like this video? Was this better? Do you guys want to learn more about malware? Then you need to join the club, because malware is done for us, because we are just introducing malware for you guys just now. Okay, so it's done. Now let's see who can answer what. Okay, so I'll just have a quiz. We'll learn. You join the club, we'll teach you. I will send the link of the group once we are done with the seminar. Okay. How do they bypass pre-installed antivirus? Okay. They'll have their techniques. Okay. Because see, Stuxnet has been reverse engineered to actually give them give us a proper working code, right? But the issue is, it has not been researched so much, or the research is not available publicly on how it happened and how it bypassed the antivirus, how it bypassed all security measures. They haven't really explained all of that in public, because if they told that, you or me can make one, right? That should never happen. So that is the reason they won't do it, right? Yes. Anyone from the college can join. That's not an issue. Currently, I guess we have around 80 people. Yes. I'll put all the videos. We can send virus along with the data. We can send anything along with the virus. Okay. With the malware, you can send another malware like a Trojan, or else with the malware you can send a spyware, or so you can combine. You can do combination with malwares. That's the best part, right? It's modular. You can put whatever you want with whatever you want and send it. Okay. Like usually people send it. How can they stick to video and images? See, in the end, Shreyas, everything is code, right? So it will be like, see, if you notice, there is something. Okay, do you know what steganography is? Anyone in the group? Do you guys know what steganography is? Okay. So steganography is the act of hiding data in images or videos. It is actually a proper subdomain in cryptography called steganography. Okay. So what they do is, let us say an image is 100 kilobytes, right? They'll add data, they'll add files, they'll add images inside another image, they'll add videos, they'll add whatever they want, they'll add binary data, and the picture will look the same. Okay, I'll just spell it out for you right now. Okay, yeah, so the picture will look the same, but the size will not be 100 KB anymore. It will be around 300 KB or 400 KB, depending on what you add inside that image, right? It is a very yes, it is primarily used for secret communication. Okay, so steganography is very complex. Okay, so we will learn that, but in the club. No, QR code is not steganography. It is just a pattern recognition thing. That's all. Okay, like, I mean, it's kind of a steganography, but not exactly, because in the end you are still hiding a URL in the image. That makes steganography, but then it's not really that. Okay, let us move forward. Okay, you know what? We'll take half an hour break. How about that? We'll meet at 12:45, 12:50. All right. Okay. Tarun, I'll send you the link to join the club. Don't worry about it. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. We'll have fun there. All right. Yeah, I'll send it to everyone. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll take a break. Yes, I will share everything. Don't worry about it. I will share everything, and we'll meet. Can't make a backend of all other info with two-stage verification. See, that is the whole thing, right? Your Chandrasekhar, your insider actually used. I mean, made sure the worm actually spread into your systems. So even if they have two-stage verification, the person accessing the two-stage verification does not know that he has ransomware. Okay, but see, ransomware can be downloaded anyhow. Okay, it can be downloaded through email. Again, that depends on end user protection, end user education. You need to make sure that happens before anything. So companies do have an offsite data of offsite backups of all that information. But again, the continuation of your business is hard, because you need to take your backup from that place to the central place, and from the central place you need to you need to erase all your systems and then add it to all your systems, and from there you need to continue your business. It's very hard, it's not easy. So even if they have it, they'll face a lot of struggles in actually getting it together. Okay, all right, we'll meet in half an hour. Mikhil, I'll answer your thing after lunch. I am extremely hungry. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, no problem. No problem. We'll meet 12:45. I'll answer all your questions. If you want, you can keep adding questions here on the live chat. Okay. So that I can just revisit and I can solve your issues. Okay. See you guys. See you guys at 12:45, 12:50. Okay. Please don't be more late. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Abhinav, you can answer their questions if you want. Yeah. All right. Okay. See you. And Abhinav is the person who will be teaching the third day. So just say hi. Okay. Let me check YouTube. Okay. Abhinav, are you online? Online. Okay. Yeah. Can we just check YouTube stream? Let me know if it's working. You can't speak. You can't speak. You need to be invited on stage. Yeah, yeah, it's working. It's working. Okay, never mind. All right, guys. So let's go for a quiz. Who can tell me the answer of this? Which type of malware spreads without the action of the user? Anyone? Yes, Rajesh, it is worm, not a botnet. Most of them got it right. Nice, very nice. Which type of malware allows the execution of commands from an external source on your computer? Exactly, botnet. Nice. Dash involves single actors or groups targeting system for financial gain or to cause disruption. No, guys, it is cyber crime. It is cyber crime because it is done by single individuals or groups. Cyber attack is done by a proper powerful group, maybe a country or like a particular company, etc. All right. So it is cyber crime, not cyber attack. That's it. Okay. Let us start off with cryptography. Now, what is cryptography? Tell me. I want you guys to tell me what you think cryptography is. Or else, do you want me to show you some cool stuff before actually I start off with introduction of cryptography? Some random cool stuff. Okay. Okay. Let's skip to the cool stuff first then. Uh, Yeah, just watch this.
This is the IBM Security Command Center. My name is Alice Ritter, and I'm the Command Center's creative director. We are an elite team that help prepare our clients to perform at their best, even on their worst possible day. Our Command Center is a state-of-the-art security operations center that uses the latest threat intelligence to simulate cyber attacks for clients based on their industry and needs. The simulation is an immersive experience that is built to test their response to a cyber incident. On the day of the experience, clients come in and are oriented to the Command Center. Almost immediately after, the simulated breach begins. Command Center. The goal is to understand how the entire organization works together and how to support the technical and business teams, where time is not on your side. Over the course of the next few hours, clients will wrestle with the cyber crisis scenario designed to test them, train them, and unite them under the guidance of our best security specialists. Afterwards, we work together to provide a full assessment of the simulation so that clients can learn to build new strengths and an instinctive response that is immediate, thorough, and measured. Because in the world of cyber threats, you can't predict, but you can prepare.
How's it? How's it, guys? That is supposed to be just a simulation lab for cybersecurity incidents. One more, or we are done? I'll just move on. I have 3, so we'll keep one to the end, and I have one more. All right, okay. I'll keep the simulation for you guys to the end. Yeah.
When we think of cybersecurity, we're already in a situation where hundreds of billions of pounds a year are gleaned from the bad guys and breaking into our infrastructure and stealing our intellectual property. This is one of the largest societal issues of our time. The reality is that the response to the breach often causes more damage than the breach itself. If we think about a large-scale incident of any type, right, what do you normally have in the field? Fire, police, EMS, other types of first responders. Well, cyber is now part of that environment as well. The IBM CTOC, or Cyber Tactical Operations Center, is a full-scale cybersecurity watch floor on the back of an 18-wheeler tractor-trailer truck. It's highly mobile. When it gets on site, it expands out to make this entire watch floor. It's 23 tons of cybersecurity preparedness. It's self-powered. It connects by its own sterile internet, whether that's from 4 cellular towers or 2 satellite dishes we can deploy on the roof. So there are 3 primary purposes of the Mobile Cyber Tactical Operations Center. The first is to prepare executives for their worst day in responding to a cybersecurity incident. The second purpose is education and awareness. You know, today there's a 2 million person gap in skills for open jobs in cybersecurity. And the third purpose of this truck is to actually provide on-site assistance at large-scale events where we need a cybersecurity operations center in field. So if we think of a large-scale event, let's say a sporting event or maybe a political convention, you know, the challenge is when you bring lots of people together, you might have tens of thousands of endpoints that show up and connect to your network, hundreds or thousands of servers that are stood up in a temporary environment. You need to protect that just like you protect a large-scale IT infrastructure. So part of what the Cyber Tactical Operations Center does, it allows us to provide that protection, but also do it from a sterile, trusted environment where we can show up with all the tools and resources we need. So one of the things we're constantly thinking about are the new threats. Let's go back to 2017, when we saw NotPetya go in and actually destroy entire IT environments. You know, the challenge wasn't figuring out what happened. It was bringing those businesses back. because their entire IT environment was gone. One of the goals of the Cyber Tactical Operations Center is to be able to respond to those types of incidents, provide a sterile working environment where we can then rapidly rebuild those companies and restore them from that breach. Because at the end of the day, the faster we can bring one of those companies online, the faster business is continued.
Okay, so how was that, guys? Imagine sitting in a truck that is the cybersecurity operations center. So let us start with cryptography. Not really. You can't. It is a smart car. It's not a cyber car, because you can't really do any cybersecurity operations in that car, because you'll need specific equipment. You'll need to you'll need to have all those networking equipment. You need to have an internet for it, and that too, it should be an open internet, and you need to go near that company, get connected to it. There's a lot of things. But yeah, Tesla can be made as a cyber car. It's possible to have a keyboard. Yeah, so can't companies make white hat people think that black hat to avoid cyber attacks? See, you cannot avoid cyber attacks. That is the unwritten rule of industry. You cannot avoid cyber attacks, because no matter how criminal like you think, there will always be one aspect that you would have overlooked. All right. And there are something called zero-day vulnerabilities or zero-day exploits, where people didn't even know that existed, right? And what if the black hat people can exploit that weakness in the system? So you cannot avoid cyber attacks. The only thing you can do is prepare your workforce to encounter those attacks. That is the only thing you can do. There is no prevention. There is only reaction. All right. Okay, let us start with how do they steal data through public Wi-Fi? Yes. Okay, so in public Wi-Fi, okay, again, that becomes one central hub with all devices attached to it, right? In public Wi-Fi, you browse through Instagram data, which goes to the central hub and then to the internet. Okay, so what if that hub is not really a valid hub? What if that hub is a hacker's hub, and he just posted it as a public Wi-Fi? Right? You connect to his network, and he sees every single thing that you transmit from your device to the internet. That is how they steal data through public Wi-Fi. Understood, Mikhail? All right. Yes, man in the middle. Correct. ARP spoofing? No, not really. They don't need to ARP spoof when you are in the same network as them. And again, that is a very complex thing, and I'll get into it once we start the semester and once we start the classes of cybersecurity. All right. Spoofing, spamming, everything I'll teach. Okay. Spimming. The central hub is, see, for example, if you start off a portable hotspot in your phone is the central hub, right? They'll have routers, they'll have modems, etc. So that will be the central hub from which the data will go to the internet. Okay. It's been 2 hours, not 2.5 hours. Not bad, guys. Still have interest? Anyone losing interest? All right. Okay. Yes, Abhinav. Yeah. Correct. Okay, let's move on. Introduction to cryptography. Crypt means hidden, and graphy means writing. Okay, that is hidden writing. So these are the techniques that are used to protect information which are obtained from mathematical concepts and rule-based calculations known as algorithms. Okay, so these are used for key generation, signing, verification, privacy, web browsing, etc. All right. Yeah, features of cryptography. Again, CIA is here, but this is not the same. Only the CI is the same here. All right. Confidentiality. It can only be accessed by the person whom it is intended and no one else. Integrity. The message cannot be modified between the sender and the receiver. Non-repudiation is something that is very famous in cybersecurity, where what they say is, when you do something, you can't deny the fact that you've done that. Okay, for example, let us say you stole something from a shop. Cybersecurity is in such a way that everything has logging. So you can never deny the fact that you stole. That is the best part. So the creator, sender of the information cannot deny his or her intention to send the information at a later stage. For example, I send you a message saying, classes are cancelled tomorrow. Okay. But non-repudiation means that me as a sender, I cannot deny that I haven't sent it. Like I cannot deny my sending of that message. I hope you guys understood, right? Then authentication. Identities of the sender and receiver are confirmed. They are authenticated and then only carried forward. This is the same with the place of message generation and message translate also. Okay. Did you guys understand cryptography? The basic idea? All right. Okay. Okay, another video for you guys. Are you guys liking the YouTube videos and then me teaching something and then PPTs and then some more case studies, or you guys want me only to teach? Like the only thing? Because for me, it's more like I need visual learning also, auditory learning also. So let me know. YouTube videos are fine, right? For you guys to actually understand and enjoy. All right. Okay. Done.
This probably looks like gibberish to you, and it should, because it's a cryptogram, a message in code. But if I told you that all I did was shift every letter in the sentence to the next one in the alphabet, then you'd know that it translates to this. To encrypt a message, you need two main parts, the cipher and the key. The cipher is the set of rules that you're using to encode the information. For example, shifting the alphabet by a certain number of letters. The key tells you how to arrange those rules. Otherwise, they'd be the same every time, and it would be easy to decode the message. In this case, the key would be 1, because we shifted the alphabet by 1 letter. To decrypt the information, you need to know what kind of cipher was used, and also have the key. Or you can just crack the code, either by trying all possible combinations you can think of, or by analyzing the code and working backward from it, known as deciphering. But is it possible to come up with a combination of a cipher and key that could never be determined? Is there such a thing as an unbreakable code? Well, people keep coming up with new and better ciphers, but it's hard to make them unbreakable, because no matter what, you're using a set of rules to encrypt the information, and with enough time and enough data, someone can usually uncover those rules. That puzzle I just gave you is one of the oldest and simplest ways to encrypt a message. It's usually called a Caesar cipher, and in this case, the key was just a number representing how many letters of the alphabet I shifted it. But it's also very easy to crack. Even if you didn't know the key, it would take you at most 25 tries to decode the message, because you know that the whole alphabet has to be shifted by a certain amount. Since there are 26 letters in the alphabet, there are only 25 other options. A Caesar cipher is one simple type of monoalphabetic cipher, a class of ciphers where the whole code is based on one letter of the alphabet standing in for another letter, consistently throughout the whole message. Basically, you just scramble the alphabet. In that case, the key would just be a list of which letters correspond to which, like this one. There are over 400 septillion possible ways to encrypt this kind of message, so you'd think it would be hard to crack. And it is, but only a little bit, because there are lots of ways to decode messages. Just trying all of the possible keys to a code is probably the most obvious and least subtle, and it has an equally unsubtle name:
brute force. But you can try a more sophisticated technique, something called frequency analysis, which is based on the idea that every language has its own specific patterns. In English, for example, the letter E shows up a lot. I used it 7 times in just the last sentence. And some words, like the, are so common that it's hard to even use a sentence without them. Cryptographers call these words cribs. So frequency analysis looks for common words and also common letters or sets of letters like ed or ing at the end of words. If you find that the letter X is showing up a lot in a message, and so is the 3-letter word IRX, you might guess that in the key, X corresponds to the letter E, and IRX spells the. And once you've figured out those letters, you can figure out the rest by recognizing other words and using the process of elimination. And since longer cryptograms contain more clues, they're easier to crack. So monoalphabetic ciphers are fun, but they're not hard to break. If you want to get a little fancier with your encryption, you can use polyalphabetic ciphers instead. They're much more effective. In a polyalphabetic cipher, the way you scramble the alphabet actually changes throughout the message. In the first word, S might translate to W, but in the last word, S might translate to H. It all depends on the particular encryption method you're using, and on your key. One of the earliest polyalphabetic ciphers was the Vigenère cipher. Developed in the 16th century, it was pretty simple because the key was just a word. So let's say you want to encrypt "Scishow is the greatest" using a Vigenère cipher. Well, the first thing you need to do is write out a Vigenère square. The alphabet goes across the top and along the left side, and each row contains the letters A to Z shifted over by 1. So the first line starts with A and ends with Z, but the second starts with B, goes all through the letters until Z, and then ends with A, and so on. You end up with 26 differently scrambled alphabets, and now you're ready to encode the message. You just have to pick a key. Let's just say your key is Michael. You write out your key multiple times until it fills the same number of letters as your message. So "Scishow is the greatest" would correspond to this. Then to encrypt it, you take each letter of the message and move along its row in the Vigenère square until you get to the column of the corresponding letter in Michael. So "Scishow is the greatest" turns into this. That's much tougher to decode unless you have the key, because those letter frequencies are all different now. Since the keyword Michael is 7 letters long, each letter of your message is encrypted using 7 different scrambled alphabets. But if your text is long enough, it's still crackable using a type of frequency analysis developed in the 19th century by cryptographer Charles Babbage. Babbage realized that in a long enough message, some patterns in the coded message will still show up. Like if your key only has 7 letters, that means that there are only 7 ways to encrypt the word the. But if your message uses the word the 8 times, there are definitely going to be repeats. So he just counted how many letters separated those repeated patterns. If they were separated by 7, 14, or 21 letters, he knew that the key was probably 7 letters long. And from there, he would just use frequency analysis to figure out the 7 scrambled alphabets. Babbage's method is just one example of why it's so hard to create an unbreakable cipher. Your key creates a pattern within the encrypted message, and with enough work, a spy can uncover that pattern. It turns out that the only way to have a really unbreakable cipher is to use what's known as a one-time pad encryption, which uses a key that is as long as the message itself. That way, there aren't any patterns in the encrypted text. There's nothing to analyze, so there's no way to work backwards. The sender and the recipient both have the same pad, and each sheet contains a long set of random letters, which is used as the key. Once a sheet is used to decode a message, you destroy it. Then you use the next sheet for the next message, so you never repeat a key. As long as you keep the pad safe, the message can't be decrypted by anyone else. But you can't always use one-time pad encryption. Let's say you needed to get a message to someone halfway across the world whom you'd never met. You wouldn't have a chance to give them a matching pad. In warfare, that sort of situation comes up a lot, which is why in the early 20th century, there was suddenly plenty of incentive to come up with better ciphers. Remote communication, using technology like the telegraph, was incredibly valuable during wartime, but it was essential that only your allies understood what you were saying. The Germans experimented with a new, more complicated monoalphabetic cipher during World War I, but eventually, the French managed to crack it. Then, during World War II, the Germans again came up with a new cipher, and this time, its security seemed perfect. Maybe you've heard of it. The Enigma machine. The machine used a polyalphabetic cipher that scrambled the alphabet in a different way each time you typed a new letter. As far as the Germans knew, the only way to decipher the message was to have your own Enigma machine and set it up using a secret key that changed every day. The machine was meant to work like a one-time pad in the sense that the alphabet was re-scrambled for every letter of the message. But instead of having to distribute a set of sheets to everyone, you could just use a key that told the users how to set up their Enigma machines, and you could change that key as often as you wanted. But it had a few flaws. For example, no letter could be encoded as itself. That might not sound like a big deal, but it ended up being a fatal weakness. British mathematician Alan Turing, along with the rest of his team, designed a machine of their own that could crack the Enigma code, as long as they knew around 20 of the characters contained in the message. Which they often did, because some phrases tended to show up a lot in Nazi communiques, especially nice things about Hitler. So part of the strategy of Turing's team was to look for cribs, those common words and phrases, and see where they might fit. For instance, if they knew a message contained the word Führer, they could look for places in the text that didn't have the letter F, since they knew that the F in Führer couldn't be encoded as itself. Those clues helped them figure out how the Enigma rotors were set up to encrypt the message. Cracking the Enigma code was a huge advantage for the Allies. Many historians attribute some of the most important victories during the war to information the Allies got from the Enigma encrypted messages. These days, encryption is mostly important in digital computing. And that isn't perfect either. When websites announce that hackers now know everything about you, that's because their encryption methods were breakable. Companies that store your data have to take into account a whole new set of considerations, like how when you can complete billions of operations per second, brute force suddenly becomes a lot more practical. So the same principles that Vigenère and Turing used are the same ones that allow you to pay your bills online and keep North Korea out of your email, most of the time. But how is a story for another episode. Thank you for watching this episode of SciShow, which was brought to you by our patrons on Patreon. If you want to help us keep making videos like this, check out patreon.com.
Okay, so you guys understood what a cryptography is? Did you guys understand what an Enigma machine is? Enigma code. So Alan Turing developed the first machine that could actually, okay, not the first machine, the second machine that that could actually break the Enigma machine. Yes, it is extremely complicated. Okay, so it's like back in those days when Alan Turing actually built the system, it was huge. It was as big as a part of a room. Okay, it was that big. Okay, it did not use all these software things. It just used plain gears and selectors. That's about it. Okay, rotors and then keypads and then lights. That's about it. Okay, felt it was too much at the first time. Like you'll get used to it. I mean, cryptography is a very hard subject by itself, unless you love math. I hate math. So how are calls encrypted? They use their specific techniques of encryption. That is more complex than what we did just now. At least 10 times more complex. So we'll learn that. We'll learn that eventually. You guys are jumping. You guys are so eager. We'll learn that eventually. Don't worry about it. So yeah, they have their own systems for communication, and they have their own encryption schemes for communication. Okay, so that is it. And you guys have any other questions, any suggestions, any whatever you want? We can talk about the weather. That's also fine. No more. All right. Okay. Okay, guys, by talking about the weather, I didn't mean like literally. Come on. Yeah, anyways, yeah. WhatsApp uses end-to-end encryption. That basically means that your message is encrypted during transit. Okay, it is already encrypted in the client side, and it goes into the what's that destination. Okay, and the same opposite also. The college have a ground. Nope. I mean, that's for later, guys. That's for later, not now. Okay, yeah. So next, Enigma code. You guys learned about it. I think I'll just skip this. By the way, this is an Enigma machine. Okay, so what these rotors used to do is these rotors had the specific number set. Okay, that tells you the setting of this whole Enigma machine. So whenever you type something on the keyboard, depending on the configuration of these rotors, these like lamps used to light up. For example, F will become V. But the next time if I press F, it will become R. The next time I press F, it will become A. So it's like that. So it's never the same, like the same alphabet for the same key. Okay. So that is the reason why Enigma machine is so famous. And that is what won us the war, won the Allies the war. Okay. Social engineering. Do you guys have any idea what social engineering means? No. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone actually knows what social engineering is? Aram, okay, explain what you learned through Watchdog, what social engineering is. You're close, Rajesh. You're close. You're close. It's more like people hacking. Okay. You hack into systems, you hack into servers, you hack into networks, you hack into apps. But this is where you hack into people. Yes, phishing is a technique of social engineering. Yes. Tricking someone to give information that is not supposed to be given. All right. Yeah, posing as someone from the higher authority and asking for details. Yes, I will tell you all that. I'll tell you all that. Communicating with others without showing your identity? No, that's wrong. That's more like disguise. Without showing your actual intentions? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, so I'll explain what social engineering is. Or else, do you want to see an example of social engineering before I teach you what social engineering is? Example of social engineering? All right.
DEF CON is the biggest hacker convention of the year. It's a place where thousands of hackers come to hear talks, to demonstrate their newest hacks. It's actually a place that's so dangerous to be on the internet that they tell you to turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on your phone, and they tell you not to use the ATMs too, because those could be hacked as well. This is the DEF CON ballroom. It's sort of the main room where things are happening. It's pretty wild. I think this is car hacking village. This car is locked. Can you get me in? I'll unlock it for you. Should be good. Hacking is no longer like this fringe activity, and if you are at DEF CON, there's a good chance that you're here because you want to learn what could happen to you or your company.
Anyone here first time in SCCTF?
I invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah,
see if it works.
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as
Let's do it.
Sure. You want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan, and we just had a baby, and he's like, get this done by today, so I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information, and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying, and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
Gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay,
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right. Thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yeah.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like, this is the most basic stuff, and they're not doing it. And if they're not doing it, you know all these other businesses aren't doing it either.
anyone with a phone and an internet connection can do social engineering. But I was curious, what can a hacker with serious coding skills do?
Well, DEF CON is the world's biggest hacking convention. It's hacking everything. Hacking social, hacking hardware, hacking software, hacking various systems.
I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a fish asking you to go to this website, run the certificate installer.
And I did it, because I'm an idiot.
So once you ran that, it gave me access to your computer, and I created several fake pop-ups that looked like system pop-ups that would ask you for your credentials.
You didn't even have to have my passwords.
No, you gave them to me.
I gave them to you.
Yeah. So I stole your 1Password keychain.
And 1Password is where I store all my other passwords. So effectively
And your social security number and your Amex stuff and all your stock trading and bank information. I can send email to everyone in this room as you. I am you right now, if I wanted to be. If my evilness is working correctly, it should actually be taking pictures of your desktop and pictures through your webcam every 2 minutes. And I have been watching you for about 2 days now. In coffee shops, at your mom's house, on a plane. Here's your editing stuff. There's your
oh my god, so this is literally
every 2 minutes
through my webcam.
Yeah, through this guy.
How badly could you have messed up my life?
I could have made you homeless. I could have made you homeless and penniless.
How?
Like,
how would you make me homeless?
Like, I have control of your digital life in its entirety. I have all your credentials. I have all your access to all your financial information, all your work information, all your personal information. I can pay people with your bank account or your Amex account. I am you. I can fully impersonate. The only thing I couldn't doctor would be like your fingerprints.
This is like as bad as it gets.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's bad.
So it turns out that Dan Tentler is very good at his job. I mean, he hacked the hell out of me. He got everything. I mean, frankly, I want to take my computer and throw it into the deepest part of the ocean, and I want to become a hermit, and I want to never touch a piece of technology again, because holy shit, that was everything. That was the keys to my entire life, and he just pulled them out of his pocket.
Okay, so how was it? So how was the social engineering call before anything else? Yeah, so that is social engineering. You talking to people about it, you talking to people and getting yourself some information that you're not supposed to get. That is social engineering, all right? And it is one of the hardest yet the most interesting part of cybersecurity. Okay. So I'll just move on a little bit. Yeah. So we'll just move faster. I want you guys to have some time. Okay. So I'll just finish it fast. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, human hacking, lure unsuspecting users into exposing data. So this is the attack cycle. Okay. So you prepare as in you identify the victim, you gather information that you can use as a leverage. Okay. You select what kind of attack you want to perform on the victim. Then comes infiltrate. In infiltrate, you actually start making connections with the victim, tell him a story, and you try to take control of what he or she is thinking. Okay. Then comes the exploitation phase. Exploitation phase is when you actually execute the attack, when you actually say something, and when you actually get a response with the information that you need. Okay, that is the exploitation phase. And then there is something called disengage. Disengage as in you cover your tracks, you naturally end the conversation, and you do your own work. All right. That is the social engineering attack cycle. So now types of SE attacks. Okay. So I'll just keep the screen on for 15 seconds. You tell me what you know about any of these. All right, and one of these attacks were actually shown in the video itself. So Nikhil, we do have laws against this, but they, unfortunately, in India, it's very barely like enforced. Yeah. So phishing is not primary, not just sending emails. Phishing was not shown in the video, Pratham. Okay. Yeah. So phishing, no. That is something else. That's called farming. I'll that comes later again. That is also social engineering attack, but no. Phishing. Okay. So phishing is basically doing the same thing, manipulating people to get certain information. Okay. And this uses a phone. Okay. So, but phishing is an umbrella term that uses email, all sorts of messengers for you to click on a link or to gain information somehow. All right. So smishing is a part of phishing, but it uses SMS and links to actually gain information. Wishing is the same thing through voice. Baiting, what you do is just give me a minute. Sorry. Yeah. So what you do is, in baiting, you use a what do they say? You use a false promise. Okay. For example, you're like, you give me this information, I'll give you X amount of cash. Or you give me this information, I'll give you my information. Okay. So here baiting and quid pro quo is actually similar. All right. Quid pro quo is Latin for a favor for a favor. I think you guys understood what that means, right? I'll do something for you. For that, you do something for me. Okay. So those are the types of social engineering attacks. Did you understand? Wishing was used in the video, Chandrasekhar. Wishing. The last point, as in quid pro quo, Aisha? Okay. So quid pro quo means that it is in Latin for favor for a favor. Okay. It's like, I'll do something for you. I'll tell you some of my secrets as long as you tell me some of yours. So that is quid pro quo. Okay. That is also one of the tactics and one of the techniques used in social engineering. Again, I won't dive deep into this because, yeah. So baiting is more like a false promise. Okay. It's like, you do something, I will give you this. Okay. Or baiting is more like a friendly blackmail. Did you understand, Priyanka? Yeah. So quid pro quo is more like, I'll do something for you, you do something for me. It's a mutual understanding. Okay. In baiting, there might or might not be an understanding. So they are similar but not the same. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Karthik. Quid pro quo is like give and take. Yes. Okay. So I hope. Okay. There's something here. All right. Okay. Yeah. So next, you guys watch this. Okay. I'll show you this. In this, they use everything that we have studied. Okay. Social engineering they use, physical breaching they use. These guys are the red team. They are the breakers. Okay. So watch this. It's a 15-minute. So
we are the attacker team. We are offensive security. Our goal is to achieve full access. I'm extremely optimistic.
This guy, buckets.
The wonderful thing about all of this is it's perfectly legal. We like to bring in a mix of people with different technical skills.
I'm going to pretend like we work here. My specialties, if you will, really involves social engineering.
Now what I'm doing is I'm going to download some malicious scripts. Background mainly in application pen testing.
Given a determined enough attacker, it doesn't stand a chance. I come from the military, specifically the Army, as a paratrooper and a medic.
I originally practiced doing this stuff at home. Penetration tester, usually focus more on the network side of things.
You need to have the ability to kind of think outside the box. Then you can start to hack stuff. So we're currently on our way to the first office location where we'll be basically conducting reconnaissance just to see what the area looks like, where we're going to gain access, what things we need to be aware of. We're sort of close. There's the offices. Anytime you're going to break into a building, you have to be aware of people. You have to be aware of the security controls that they have in place. A reconnaissance is going to help us figure some of that out. The target will be on the left. And this is the employee parking. Looks like there is not a fence along the wooded area. Drive casual. The goal is going to be look at different approaches. Over here is all a neighborhood. And this is wooded. There's no fence here. Look for cameras. Try to get a sense of when people are going to be there.
Office. A bunch of cameras on this side.
What the surrounding area looks like. Are there neighbors who are going to see what we're doing who might call the authorities? We've got residents, so if anybody sees us, we've got a problem. It looks fairly accessible. It'd be fairly simple to have somebody enter from the wooded area or simply just drive up into the employee parking lot like you belong and just walk up to the door. Assuming there's not anybody inside, we should have free reign at the place.
Social engineering is also referred to as people hacking.
People are the number one weakness from a security perspective in any organization. Our costume is basically a technician. So you've got a polo, jeans, work boots. In order to capture some of this, we've also basically used a GoPro inside of a small satchel bag. It's a bag camera.
Right now, him and Paul are in the lobby talking to the receptionist. They dropped 2 of our contact names.
We're here to check on some speed issues and some other stuff with the internet.
Looks like they're getting visitor badges.
It's not that unexpected that your internet service provider might show up to test if you're having speed issues with your network.
Doing a lot of sighing, which is typical of what we should be doing, kind of creating a sense of inconvenience, hoping to play on her willingness to want to help people. Confidence is extremely important, and that will come naturally having done your homework in terms of researching the company and solidifying a pretext.
What if I just wanted to I'm going to try to call my
It sounds like the receptionist is a little open, but this guy's very skeptical.
We look like we're about to go raid some shit.
The thing about this, besides the fact that it is by far the most fun, is you got to think on your feet.
We are going to try to get past physical security controls. Of course, we're an ethical hacking company, so what that means is we're not going to break stuff.
Okay, so you guys are going to go in first.
I think we should wait for you in the garage so that when you get to that back door, we can just let you in.
We went in 2 teams. One team went in through a wooded area where it wasn't fenced in, approached the back door. The other team simply parked in the employee lot and walked to the employee entrance as though that's where employees were supposed to be there. Some doors you can use what's called a shove-it tool. It's basically a way just to get in there and get the door to open.
Make a dash for that dumpster. Ready?
To get into the next part of the building.
We have a tool that we can use to go underneath the door to snake up to grab a handle and simply pull down on the handle from the inside and open the door. Sometimes the doors aren't locked. I mean, first thing is just check if it's open.
Okay, door's open.
We've already found 3 iPads and a laptop, so we're doing pretty good so far. Credit cards be mine, including PIN numbers.
It's designed to be physically deployed at a target location, but we want to maintain a ongoing or rather persistent connection.
It's a small computer that's just a hardware botnet computer. So what we can do is plug that into an outlet and then into the network as well.
Remotely, we can control that, install software like malware scripts, penetration testing scripts, things like that.
We had free reign of the office space for as long as we wanted, hacked a few computers, had some pretty good success there. In fact, since cheap domain admin credentials in their network just from that visit alone.
We got everybody? Everybody has their equipment? Yeah, their cell phones in the truck. Coast is clear still?
Calm down, dude.
There's microwaves that go out from a sensor. Anything that's in front of it, it's going to bounce off. That sensor is going to have a resistance and read it back saying, okay, I know something's here.
A1 flight right there. Looks like they're on their way back. This was way better than a long-ass walk through the cold woods. Given the sensor is so close to the ground, we could just toss Steve over the fence and then block the sensor. Once the sensor's blocked, we wait a minute to make sure that the camera hasn't gone off. Now we're in.
We actually don't know about the sensor itself, but the camera has 280-degree view, which basically means that it can't see behind the pole that it's mounted on. We need to get the shield out.
No, you're cool, buddy. What this is going to do is this is going to block the infrared component of the sensor. You should effectively see my body heat disappear. And we're going to send a seam over the fence again.
So we're going to stay as far out as possible that we feel safe and just arc around it.
So pretty much looking at it. Straight on shot to the corner.
It's either going to work and we're going to be brilliant for it, or it's going to fail miserably.
So we're wearing a smog type thing to protect from any arcs that would happen.
You wear cotton clothing so that in the event that you get hit with an arc, your clothing burns instead of melting to your skin.
Everything is completely self-sufficient in here, so long as it stays plugged in. The next thing we're going to do is make sure that we can hit the internal network.
We're not going to cut a lock. We might try to pick a lock, but I'm not going to just smash the thing with a hammer. It's an art.
When you can't break it, just dismantle it.
We're in. Effectively a cloner. We'll be able to capture employees' cards and write them to our own cards to get unfettered access into the building, usually at night. Just the fake badges that we created work great. Yeah, actually, I'm just looking for the bathroom. Just through the front right here. No, I don't.
This isn't a normal USB drive. We've just written some basic code. When we plug it into somebody's system, it's going to automatically. I can basically do anything that he can do on his machine just remotely.
We found some unlocked systems, actually dropped some malicious files on them. I can start the microphone on the computer. So I can now start listening to you physically talking. I can take a screen capture of what's on your desktop. I can take pictures with your webcam to see if you're sitting at your computer or not.
No, he pretty much got in his truck, showed up, and cornered us.
To be honest, my nerves are a little bit shot with this guy.
These companies understand that they need to have a stronger security posture. It's increasing awareness, and companies are starting to do much better. We still have a long ways to go, but I think we're seeing improvements out there. Yeah.
You think you have all those little holes patched, and then you find out that they found another way to get in. It is a good experience, and it is a learning experience. It feels like sometimes you take 2 steps forward, but then you're taking 2 or 3 steps backward.
For buildings like this? Really?
Right now, in a lot of ways, the internet is kind of like the Wild Wild West. Maybe people aren't necessarily dying, but there's a lot of people hacking. It doesn't take much to do so.
By now you've probably heard that Facebook...
So how easy was it to actually hack into the US power grid? Did anyone observe anything that might be considered important? Anyone? Yeah, sometimes it happens, Arham. Sometimes it happens. I mean, you can't really stop that. But yeah. So these guys are the red team. So these guys are meant to break into what happened. Tarun, perfectly right. In the end, no matter what you do, the people who get inside are like, they use human factors only. Okay. So human factors again is the least secure part of any cybersecurity systems. Okay. You wanna do some case studies now? Last, I'll take maybe, I guess, 20 minutes of your time. Okay. We'll do case studies. Interested? Or else you want that cool video first before case studies? You want the video first? Anyone else? You want case study first? Okay, all right. Case study. Case study. Okay. Okay, all right then. Then we'll move on to case study. All right. So yeah.
By now you've probably heard that Facebook is scrambling to contain the fallout over a data privacy scandal. Mark Zuckerberg finally addressed the story on Wednesday, but only after a delete Facebook campaign had started to gain momentum around the world.
So this was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened. We have a basic responsibility to protect people's data, and if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to have the opportunity to serve people.
So how did we get here, and how does Facebook recover? Well, first of all, let's figure out what happened. So on March 16th, the New York Times and The Guardian reported that a data mining firm named Cambridge Analytica, which had worked on Donald Trump's presidential campaign, had improperly obtained access to more than 50 million user profiles. Experts believe the firm could have used that data to gain an unfair advantage in targeting voters. Mark Zuckerberg didn't say anything about these stories for 5 days, and then on Wednesday, he wrote a Facebook post and gave an interview to CNN.
I'm going to challenge you.
We're here now.
I'm going to challenge you.
And we're going to make sure that we do a good job at it.
Have you done a good enough job yet?
Well, I think we will see.
This scandal is extremely weird because we've known the basic details that Cambridge Analytica got access to these profiles for more than 2 years. It's not clear that the data they obtained was really all that useful to them, and the number of profiles that they supposedly obtained, 50 million, that might turn out to just be marketing hype from Cambridge Analytica. Despite all that, this is the biggest public relations crisis Facebook has faced since the aftermath of the 2016 election. Senators are calling on Zuckerberg to testify. The Federal Trade Commission is investigating. British authorities are investigating. And Facebook's stock price has been declining. So let's look what happened. The story starts in 2014. That's when a University of Cambridge researcher named Alexander Kogan created an app called This Is Your Digital Life. About 270,000 people downloaded it, gave away their information, and Kogan, unbeknownst to them, passed along that information to a data mining and political strategy firm named Cambridge Analytica. At the time, Facebook's platform API let developers like Kogan access information about your friends as well as yourself. Christopher Wiley, who used to work at Cambridge Analytica, told the Times and The Guardian that that was how his company was able to get access to information of as many as 50 million people. And the idea was that by gleaning your Facebook likes, the company could begin to understand your personality and then more effectively target political advertising at you. This kind of thing is known as psychographic profiling.
Experts say it can be useful at the margins in persuading voters, but at the same time they say its effect can be easily overstated. Granted, Trump's campaign wasn't the first to gain information about potential supporters using Facebook. In fact, in 2012, President Obama's election team had created an app and done a very similar thing. But there was a big difference. President Obama's team told voters what it was doing. Cambridge Analytica obtained this information in total violation of Facebook's rules and didn't tell anybody who was taking Kogan's personality quiz that their data would eventually be used for political advertising targeting. The Guardian revealed the scheme in 2015. Facebook went to Kogan and Cambridge Analytica and demanded that they delete all of the data that they had obtained in violation of Facebook's rules. But the reports say that in reality, Cambridge Analytica and Kogan never deleted the data, and Facebook never investigated to see whether they had deleted the data as promised. This gets to the heart of why some people are deleting their Facebook accounts right now. Facebook made it too easy for developers like Kogan to get access to their data, to their friends' data, and to share it. And it never informed people that their data had been improperly used. The scandal also came at a time when trust in Facebook has never been lower. In the aftermath of the 2016 election, we saw how obviously fake stories could spread faster and more persuasively than many true ones. And we learned that Kremlin-linked groups had waged a highly effective misinformation campaign on the platform, in some cases even illegally buying ads. Meanwhile, new research was coming out showing that just browsing the news feed can make you feel worse about yourself, and a group of former Facebook executives came forward and expressed regret about their part in building the social network to begin with. In short, public perception of Facebook had become a tinderbox. Not that Tinder. But the Cambridge Analytica story was the spark that turned it into a bonfire. After a long delay, Zuckerberg announced plans to address abuses like Cambridge Analytica's. In 2014, Facebook had already stopped developers from gaining access to information about your friends. Now it's going a step further. If you go 3 months without using an app, Facebook is going to cut off developer access to any information about you. And for developers that did have access to all that information, including information about your friends way back in 2014, Facebook is going to demand that they submit to an audit or be kicked off the platform. So will this fix the problem? On one hand, it's a start. Restricting developer access to your data could help Facebook start to rebuild some trust. But the larger issue for Zuckerberg is that he's really confronting 3 crises at once. There's the data privacy issue that the Cambridge Analytica story reveals. There's the newsfeed integrity issue and whether we can trust what we see on Facebook. And there's the broader cultural reckoning over social media, how we spend our time there, and whether it's ultimately good for us and the world. In January, Zuckerberg said that fixing Facebook's platform would be his personal challenge for the year. And yet, as he wades into this latest crisis 5 days after it began, it's not clear Facebook is doing everything it can to address it. And as a delete Facebook campaign starts gaining steam around the world, the challenge of fixing Facebook's platform feels greater than ever.
Okay, what did you guys understand? What did you guys understand? What happened to Facebook? Not really data theft, Aisha, because technically it is not theft because you gave the data to them. Ayush, that wasn't a bug. Facebook wantedly allowed the developers to access the data, profile data of their friends. Okay, it wasn't really a bug. It was intentional. Yes, there is a lot of trust issues that are going right now. And one more thing, do you really think that if you delete your data online, that it's actually deleted? Exactly. So whatever you put on the internet is final. Yes, Facebook became a source unknowingly. Yes. They had no idea that the developers can do that. Exactly. Nothing ever vanishes on the internet. Yeah, you can find anything, anyone, anything on the internet. So we'll go to the next situation. Well, I hope there's a next situation. 1 minute. Yeah, Halifax breach. I mean Equifax, sorry. Yeah. Equifax breach is completely different than what you've seen now. Okay. The Facebook one was a mistake done by Facebook itself to let other people access the data. In this, some hackers took control and actually sold the data on the dark web. Equifax, yes.
SciShow is supported by Brilliant.org. The company involved is one of the ones in charge of monitoring your credit, and the hack appears to have involved some serious negligence on their part. Equifax is one of 3 big American credit agencies which calculate the credit scores that determine how hard it is for you to do things like get a loan. You probably know by now that they were hacked, and criminals managed to access private data like social security numbers and birth dates for 143 million consumers, including 209,000 people's credit card information. Credit agencies collect financial data on pretty much everyone in the US with a credit history. Even if you've never paid for any of Equifax's services directly, if you are an adult in the United States, you're probably affected. And it turns out that the hackers got in by taking advantage of a vulnerability that Equifax had plenty of time to fix. So, oops, I guess. The Equifax website is built on software called Apache Struts, a widely used framework for creating programs that help companies manage large amounts of data online. In March, the Apache Foundation, which oversees Struts, announced the existence of a vulnerability in the software code they dubbed CVE 2017-5638. And it was a bad one. We've all filled out web forms a zillion times to order products, register for accounts, contact customer service, all sorts of things. But because of a bug in the way that Struts handles data entered into those forms, hackers could use them to send a malicious code to the servers with the data on them, a type of hack known as remote code execution. Normally, programmers protect against this by having the server check what you're submitting to make sure it's not computer code. But with this vulnerability, hackers could trigger an error, which then made the server run the embedded commands while it was trying to figure out what the error was. That's a pretty serious bug, but the Apache Foundation released a fix for it at the same time they announced its existence. The fix could take a while because it's not as simple as downloading a software update for your phone. It requires individually updating and rebuilding every app that runs on the Struts platform, which could be dozens or hundreds for a single company. But the breach of Equifax's system using this vulnerability began in mid-May, 2 months after the vulnerability came to light. Why hadn't Equifax, a company that deals with literally everyone's data in the US, updated their system by then? Nobody knows. We may find out, though. More than 30 lawsuits have already been filed. The FBI and the FTC are investigating, and legislators are planning hearings, so there will be more information in the coming months. In the meantime, a couple weeks ago, Apache announced another Struts bug that makes it vulnerable to remote code execution, along with a patch for it. Here's hoping Equifax implements this one a little more quickly. If all this hacking news has got you down, you might be relieved to hear that our second story isn't about current events. Instead, it takes place around 550 million years ago, so not likely to affect you personally. Back then, Earth's oceans were inhabited by a creature so different from anything around today that scientists have never been sure if it was an animal or something more like a fungus or lichen until now. In a paper published last week in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B, paleontologists concluded
Yes. Yeah, so you found out what happened to Equifax, right? Again, the same thing. First is company negligence. Then you have one update that they haven't done. One guy accessing that update, and then everything got sold in the dark web, right? So, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, and the fossil one is just something else. So I just wanted to show you one of the Equifax data breach also. Okay, that's what. See, that hasn't been that has come to light already, but I haven't actually explored it much because I just wanted to give you an overview. They can do 2 things with the data. One, they can sell it to nation states or other companies that will benefit from customer data or customer information. Secondly, they can sell it on the deep web for whoever wants to take it. In the end, it is monetary gain only. That is the primary reason for the breach of data is monetary gain, because always rival companies, industries look for data to have. that can either strengthen their own company, or they can find leverage to maybe blackmail or maybe negotiate with a different company. You understood? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions before I move on to the last cool stuff and then we are done for the day? Yes, these technology can manipulate the stock market, because the moment your company goes through a cyber attack, then immediately your stock prices will go down, because your company isn't as valuable as what it was before. And then again, there comes trust issues where you won't go back to the same company again, because once it got hacked, you have lesser trust in it, right? So that again drives the stock price down. Understood? Money, fame, competition, revenge, exactly, it's the same thing. I mean, don't everyone work for the same thing? The only thing that we are supposed to do is not let these guys do it for all the purposes, all the nefarious purposes. Done? I guess. Yeah, tell me, Aram. Yes, tell me. No, it's like you don't know where the attack is coming from. That's what. There's something called VPN bouncing. Okay. Or location spoofing. So it is the live map that we are showing them, right? It is just the activations of the Kaspersky antivirus. Or let us say someone's making scans, then you have something showing up. You don't, you cannot actually have a live map of all the attacks being shown, because see, I can attack you, okay, and my location can be China. But if you go tracking, then from China my signal will bounce to Morocco, from then to Australia, from Australia to Europe, from Europe to India. No one will do all that. Truecaller data breach. I haven't heard of it. I will do some research and I'll let you know. All right. How they do it? How they do it is a very complex thing, Tejas. Let us start off with the basics, and then slowly we'll get you there. You'll be able to do a data breach. Don't worry. Okay. So last cool thing of the day. Okay.
SciShow is supported.
Yeah, this is the one, guys. This is how an incident response team works. Okay.
Over 500 and their devices at the last. Listen, at the end of the day, everything is packed. Think about how that's bottom line, as threats continue to evolve, security teams find new ways to fight back.
Yes, sir. I completely understand, sir. Thank you. Let's go from the FBI. Take the situation.
Hey, guys, are you seeing this on the firewall?
All right, team. We have a threat that's just been validated. Can you throw up a Class C block on that firewall? We want to test something. Yep. Yeah, I see it too. How many machines are beaconing?
Hold on, we're isolating the IP.
Where's this even coming from?
Well, as we said, Amy, they look to be the victim of a major data breach from a very sophisticated cybercrime group. It's hard to say if the hackers are still in the network. As of right now, we really don't know where the attack is coming from or who's behind it. We're talking about the impact on the financial sector and Wall Street.
All right, everybody, let's go. Let's go. It is out there. We need to make this a permanent block. So let's go. Let's go.
Where the hell have you been? I've got the board on one line, the reporter on the other. We need to get.
I need some answers.
James, come on. Come on. You got 60 seconds. Ready to go?
Honestly, guys, it doesn't get much worse. And for one we can see, it looks like they actually made changes. The ramifications from this are going to hit everyone.
Oh, Brian, thanks for breaking this down.
And you're on. In 3, 2.
We're dealing with a lot of uncertainty. Now, what I can tell you is that we've got a fantastic team that's working around the clock to resolve any issues that arise. And as soon as any information comes up, I'll be glad to give that to you in real time.
How is it? Okay, so again, I'm telling you, any cybersecurity team has these things. Incident responders, PR, managers, they have every single person who will be round the clock looking at everything. Okay, then the moment it goes on the news, the reason why everyone got so panicked is because their stock market price will start falling. Okay, because it is on the news, people will start selling their stocks immediately. The value of their company will start going downhill. Okay, so yeah, so that is my session for today. It's been 3.5 hours. Okay, so I'll just take maybe question answers for maybe the next 10 minutes. Bug bounty is actually, yes, I mean not very significantly, but yes, it is reducing the rate of cybercrime because you have a community of hackers looking at one particular vulnerability and trying to solve it. All right, so Tarun, I guess you got the WhatsApp link and the Discord link. Abhinav just sent it once. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so any questions, suggestions? So how was the seminar, how was the day 1 for you guys? Day 2 will be guest speakers, and day 3 will be Abhinav, another one of your seniors. So what do you think about the cyber security domain? Like, is it cool? Is it not cool? Are you interested? Do you want to follow it? Do you want to pursue it? Day 2, there are guest speakers from Sir. Sir got 2 guest speakers from, I guess, VIT. So, Ayush, the Discord link is in the description of the WhatsApp group. Had fun, guys, for 3.5 hours. Thank you for staying so patient. And thank you for interacting so much. No, that's it. Today there are no more sessions. If I do any more sessions today, I might just faint. I cannot go further. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. So I'll just wait till 2:15. So we do have collaboration with Coursera. It is like not specifically for cybersecurity, but in general you can do it. So you guys have any suggestions? What can be done better? for day 2 and day 3 so that I can just forward the message to them. Practicals for you guys is a little hard because there are a lot of things that you guys need to know before you even step in the practical sessions. Me taking the class, let's see guys, let us see. Tomorrow is the guest speakers, day 3 is Abhinav. You see, if for me, I want others to do it because this will be my last semester, right? So I'll barely be with you guys for another 6 months. So yes, Edge, you'll get to do projects. I will teach you how to make a keylogger. I will teach you what a bad USB is. I'll teach you how to social engineer people. Everything I'll teach you. Don't worry about it. I told you, right? I'll be going to London to pursue my master's in cybersecurity. So if you and one more thing, DSU now paired up with EC Council. EC Council is the people who give you the CEH certification, Certified Ethical Hacker. Royal Holloway, Arham. Royal Holloway, University of London. Yeah, well, hopefully, Aisha, hopefully. No, I am not that good practically yet. I am right now, I'm just learning the basics. You need to learn how a processor works, how memories work, how bandwidths work. You have a lot to learn. I'm not that good practically, but theoretically, I think I'm sound enough that you guys need to tell me. No, there was no specialization when I joined. I got to know about cybersecurity only in the 3rd year. DSU is linked with this vendor called EC Council. EC Council provides the Certified Ethical Hacker certification for you guys. So you'll get like good discounts, training and all from them directly. I ended up in cybersecurity just by watching a few YouTube videos. And then I ended up doing 3 certifications. So 3 to 4 certifications. Yes, I wanted to join CS. Yeah, you can take CH. CH, even if you're 80 years old, you can take. Or even if you're like 5 years old, you can take, as long as you have the money to pay for it. But the thing is, if you don't pass, it's gone. MSc in Information Security, Arham. Last 1 minute, guys. Anything you want to say to me before I leave? There's no, like, Arham, you can actually specialize in those particular courses once you go there. For example, my specialization will be ICS security, red teaming, and IoT security. EC Council is just a company, Serge, that gives you the certification. Abhinav, just send the link again, no? Yeah. It's not really special as long as you want to learn. You might as well do masters. For me, it's like I want to learn as much as I can before I go to work, right? So there is no point of me just doing bachelor's and going into a cybersecurity work, and you won't even get any, to be honest. Aisha, the club is better than me, man. The club is way better than me. Yeah, definitely, Arham. Else, you know what? I'll just send you my LinkedIn. Yeah, I hope you saw my name. Yeah, so just look for. Yeah, just look for Dhruva Santosh and the guy with the weird smile. OSCP. Pratham, you start off with CH. Search for Dhruva Santosh on LinkedIn. You might find it. I'll just go to low bandwidth mode. Yeah. Specialization, yes. Specialization too early can be a mistake if you end up not liking the subject. If you end up not liking the subject, then the path in front of you is useless. Guys, I think you need to. Yes, Aram. Just give me a minute. Mir and Pratham, you guys need to give 2 or 3 more exams before you give the OSCP. Okay. So, like, it is not at all easy, and I swear that I've been learning cybersecurity religiously from the past 1.5